Eswatini TV, welcome. Bitalami nguye Mbali wakasimelane umnguni Mpembe. Ndebeze mchwane mbukeli we broadcasting live sisemavuso Trade Center. As you all know, today sekuleso sikhathi sayo trade fair. Bonke abantu baphelele mbukeli balala nawo lana lapha ekhaya. Make sure that you come through. I'm not doing this alone. I'm doing it with my colleague. Bengawuthi beautiful, but I'm doing it. Yes, I was tempted to say that. Mbukela ngihambing it ngihamba naye Fabrice. Thank you so much for being with me. I like saying that, but yeah.
Yeah. A beautiful morning once again. Should I say morning or afternoon? It's close to the afternoon.
Yeah.
Once again to you, Mbali Simelane Umguni. You dressed the part. We talk about the dressing code because at some point it's going to show exposed. But what a day once again. We're live here at Eswatini International Trade Fair, where for the 2023 edition, once again we're live. Today's theme, Mbali, it's all about health and wellness. We talk about everything that has to do with you being healthy, with you being in your right position, wellness. It's all about that, Mbali. And it's all about also bringing the viewer to what is supposed to happen in his or her life.
Yeah, talking about 2023, we remember very well back break because of COVID-19.
Yeah.
But we're doing it bigger this time and better because we are broadcasting live. And also talking about the part of health and wellness. It's very important. And and also just being in the physical, taking care of your body. And it's very important to also take care of the inner person, which is the spiritual side.
Before we go any further for the viewer, Mbali, and then
no, as you said,
yes.
Umnguni, Mpembe.
Yes.
So I had to represent. I don't know about you, but I had to do that part.
But being the main topic today, talking about healthness and wellness and healthy, we also have to encourage people in terms of how they believe in dressing up. You need to be free.
Yeah.
You need to wear something that you believe that works for you. For instance, we know it's a long weekend.
Yeah.
The theme is, of course, Umhlanga, and this is in line with what you addressed.
Yes.
The main day tomorrow, you'll be there.
Bengisafuna ukuchaza ukuthi bengigathi ukuthi imbali isemhlangene nayo siyangibeka bengisangidawusho nje ukuthi Nkosi yami ngidawo kuya just ngiye but again not in the Mbali side, but we'll talk about that some other day. Talking about that, Fab, a lot of people are here today.
Yeah.
And we got to speak to people around just to hear ekakhulu nje where you mentioned a party ukuthi today is all about health and wellness.
Yeah.
Just to hear ukuthi amaswati akwati bomcoka yini balogo, and we're going to be talking about that more with our guests, but asasibona ukuthi yini namhla bebakhuluma ngayo, or rather what people know about being healthy and the importance of being healthy, right?
Yes, but maybe before we need also to highlight the importance. There's something that you mentioned earlier on to say there's a period where we did not have the trade fair, the international trade fair, due to COVID-19.
Yeah.
But on the return, and I think it's been massive. Look at the presence yesterday, the official opening of His Majesty King Mswati III, and we're also privileged for him to pass by and just visit our sector here. And I think for him, His Majesty to It's something that we shouldn't be taking for granted. It was a beautiful event yesterday, and I think we also enjoyed the party.
Yeah, to talk about that, I think we're also going to see that, especially for us here, and also remind about what happened yesterday in terms of that. So we're going to go to that part as well, and also get to that part that was talking about, right?
Yeah. I think for now, when I'm thinking for the viewer, whatever they're watching at home right now, and I think you can see our CEO Mlangeni just trying to explain to His Majesty what we're all about. He's saying, we're television with a vision. And I think I'm looking at the explanation to say, we're doing well, and this is what we're supposed to be doing. Emaswati are happy. Emaswati, we're meeting them at the point of our needs. And you highlighted earlier on that you got a chance to caught up with some of the viewers. Maybe before we introduce to them, what encourages them? What excites them?
I think around is that people are excited to finally come back who Eswatini International Trade Fair because of the break that we spoke about. And they want to see what which is Eswatini Trade Fair this time. And obviously the stores want to see what's inside. There are a lot of things that are happening here. And also just to educate especially my products. Like I said, we're mostly talking about which is health and wellness. Just to hear what's at times people think that if you are healthy, you just need to go to the gym, and that's not just the case. The food that you eat is also important. Look for the diet. But Fab, let me not say a lot. Don't you think we should go straight to them and see what they were saying?
You want us to listen to them? Yeah, let's listen to them.
Yeah, let's
you got a chance to talk to them. Yeah, these are some of the the viewers, members of the public. They got a chance to talk to our Mbarisi Melani Umkuni. She dressed the party today. Yambona would say she's in a good position. And then just to let you know that members of the public, Eswatini, they just came in their numbers. If you are here at Eswatini International Trade Fair, you get to see that you are not, you are missing a lot. Actually, beg your pardon to say you're missing a lot wherever you're at home. So get a chance within these 10 days. I think for a surprise, Mbali, we want to listen to those people, but let's keep them waiting because there's something they said that is quite interesting. But before we go to them, to you, now cool, as a young lady, what used to excite you?
Merry-go-round, to be honest. Like, that was the first thing, merry-go-round and the face painting part. The rest of everything I really didn't care about. Like, I just wanted that part. And also, I loved music from an early age. So even the party, seeing people on stage, that was exciting for me. But now growing up, I got to understand, this is not just about that. Yes, it's fun and games, but at the end of the day, there are certain things that we think we know about. For instance, coming here, Eswatini TV Stone, you get to hear and see people that you know, or rather that you see on TV, and ask about certain things, about license, like a lot of things. So, it's just not just fun only, but also getting to see lama stalls, and the products that they also have.
Wherever you are at home as a viewer, get your chance and visit this edition. I'm telling you, it's happening. A lot of things are happening. Kids fun, there are games, there is everything that is happening. And of course, for those who can't maybe be able to reach here at Mavuso, just remember that we are live at Eswatini TV. We do have our social media pages. There is Eswatini TV Facebook page. You go on Instagram, and we're planning the information. It's out there. We all about people, man.
Talking about information, sorry, can I just cut you off?
Yes.
Just to expose you.
Yeah.
Trade fair. Not about work.
What about
you
work?
Personally?
Are you asking me coming for work?
Not just you personally. How was that? How many times?
Funny enough, whenever I'm coming is for work, but then I take a chance to pass by and just visit some of the stores. But
no, Fred, you've never been here.
Yeah, I've never been here under the personal capacity.
Yeah, true. So
but for work reasons, then I get a chance to. For the past 10 years, I've been trying to come here at Trade Fair. And I think my experience personally, and I think when you get a chance to meet these people, they came all the way out of the country. Eswatini, let direction, bam, bam, bam. We're hitting the ground running.
And I also like the fact that Eswatini ahlangana onge under one roof, to talk about their own stuff, talk about own products. And one line up very soon when it goes to on stage. I said I love music, so so even talking about that, the fact that Eswatini are doing that, only Eswatini be on stage, that is quite interesting. It's very exciting. I can't wait to see that part. And I'm so excited to even here, my products Eswatini, it's quite interesting.
A beautiful sunny day. You can see the main gate of the Mavuso Trade Fair. I think the sign itself, this is a sign of Imbobench. It tells you that this is where the main event is taking place. And I think when you look at less traffic since I came in, beautiful signs outside there. There's a beautiful sign. And then, this is the weekend to visit the Kingdom of Eswatini. If you're watching us from YouTube, you are not, missing out yet because we still have the remaining 7 days until Mhlaga 10. So you can see cars coming in their numbers. The traffic is well controlled. The police are doing their job. And if you look at also the main gate, everything is in order and everything is being done in a professional way from what we're looking at the screen.
Talking about weekend, I think it's safe to say weekend in Kulu this weekend because a whole lot of things are happening. And now we are talking about Trade Fair. A lot is happening in the kingdom. And it's not only Maswati. I just mentioned Maswati under one roof, but Banding in the kingdom or from outside countries to witness all of these events that are happening in the kingdom of Eswatini. Your expectations, you just mentioned what you've been here for the past 10 years. This year, 2023, what are you expecting to see different?
Colorful day, yes. My expectations, my expectation is that colorful day, like you. My expectation, I'm here to come about and talk about your talent as well. My expectation is that more business will be pulled in terms of marketing strategies.
Yeah.
Let's, for instance, for us, Eswatini TV, there are different programs that we're distributing to the viewers. TV license.
Yeah.
If you want to know about information, our programs, this is a chance you visit. Earlier on, we had a chance of some of our viewers at home,
true.
kids getting chance to take pictures with you.
Yes.
And then it tells you that out there, the viewers want to be hands-on. So my expectation is to say, public, they're being fed the right information. But more investment is going to be made, especially for those organizations that are joined here. But before we take a break, sikhulume talent earlier on, ukhulume ukuthi uthansi music.
Yeah.
Asesivele live nje ukuthi likhona.
I know it's Sunday, but no.
Yeah.
Let me give the viewers what happened earlier on here.
You
I'm
ran
gonna sing when
away.
you come back. Don't worry,
You
I'm still
ran
here.
away.
We ain't going
Wow.
anywhere. Mugeli, we're gonna bring everything that is happening here live. But when Nangabega when a lot is happening. But again, I see Eswatini TV, we're bringing you everything that is happening the way it is happening. We're gonna see Gutsi Babugeli Batiten earlier on when we spoke to them around Emafuso Trade Center.
Libito lami ngisihle wangasilonganyane. I am the Public Relations Officer at Matsapa Town Council. Shogutsi, we are here at Mavuso Exhibition Center, lapho khona sithe for the trade fair. Under the theme Endless Possibilities. Lesibona ngathi kuyinto lenhle kakhulu for us as Matsapa Town Council because we are a town that lenema possibilities lamanengi. We want to grow as a town and we're here to exhibit timvo definitely cishe tikhombisa ukuthi lidolobha vele linama endless possibilities and ample opportunities to grow as a town. Sibonile itolo ukuthi ingwenyama ifikile yabusisa yavula lo msebenzi longaka and we are happy lokuthi naye okhonile kuvela ku kule exhibition store yethu in Matsapa Town Council, and you saw some of the things that we're doing as a town, and we're entirely grateful for that, and siyabona ukuthi ingqubekela phambili dawuqhubeka isembili. For us, following the theme the endless possibilities, we have future projects as Matsapa Town Council that we wish we would see partnership with investors, saying that this is a place of business. Lapho khona kutawuta abantu labaningi bede for kubuka ama opportunities labangawasebenzisa to invest in Matsapa Town Council. So we expect ukuthi mhlambe as we continue along the 10 days khona ama opportunities start for we're going to meet investors abatakhona kusisita ukuthi sifukule idolobha la Matsapa even further. So that's the main objective lesitelela as Matsapa Town Council. Lisasa lesilibonako likhulu kakhulu ngaloku ukuthi ke siyabona abantu bayangena ku stall sethu sihle kakhulu, and we have letivo lestikhombisako leticishe ti crucial ekuthuthukiseni idolobha la Matsapa. Dingendi mabathi idolobha la Matsapa bamfudingenda tinkinga letikhona in terms of traffic congestion nani. So mningi lembuto lebayibuta along that ukuthi ngabe ma plans elidolobha yini lokufuna kwenda letivo leto. So siyakhona kubachazela with the things that we have and let's all safe so bakhona ukandasena ukuthi sibheke sidolobha. Yes.
Siyabonga mina ngingimuzwa kayende lobukete kuxhumanisa enhlanganweni kaElizabeth Glazer Patriotic Gates Foundation. Siyathokoza kakhulu as inhlangano kaElizabeth Glazer kuba ingcenye yelitiko letempilo lomkhankaso wase trade fair, and siyabonga ke ukuthi itolo nje ingwenyama ivulile i-trade fair lokusho kona ukuthi umsebenzi sewuqalile ngalokho semthethweni ukuthi sesingakhona kusebenta nebantu bete trade fair batokhona kubona ukuthi kwentiwa ini. Njengoba ke thina sesihlangothini lwetempilo sibuke vele letindzaba ukuthi igciwane le-HIV lingedluleli kumake kusuka kumfana, nekokuthi ke sikhuthade vele ekuthenini nangabe uphila nalo igciwane le-HIV ukhona ukuthatha amaphilisi akho ngendlela lefanele ukuthi wathathe ngayo, nekokuthi ke egcineni kwako konke nasesisuka e-trade fair sesibuyele emakhaya after lo 10 days. My expectations ethu lokuthi sigcine siwabona nemadvodza lamanyenti athathe ama-services njengoba sikhona lesinako lapho khona sigugudela ngakwemadvodza ukuthi agcina ahamba emtholampilo, nekokuthi ke nabomake nabo ba-clearishe treatment yabo, nekokuthi ke nebantwana nabo bathesteke kahle igciwane le-HIV kakhulukati labo labadalwa ngimake labaphila nalo igciwane le-HIV kude kukhonakale ukuthi sifike kuleli phupho lesive lekuthi sifise kufika lapho khona sesithi live leselinganalo lelingaphili ne-AIDS. Cishe ngiloko lesingakuthi singakukhuluma kulesikhathi. Siyabonga.
Mbogeli, solo sikhona eMavuso Trade Center. As I said earlier on, we are broadcasting live. So everything that is happening la eMavuso namuhla, we are going to be bringing it as it is. See Eswatini TV kanti nguye mbali wakaSimelane. Mbogeli, we did mention today we are talking about health and wellness. So now next to me we have a doctor, a pet doctor, who's going to be telling us more about the importance of taking care of our animals. We're going to be talking about pet nutrition. Doctor, how are you? Dr. Fan, how are you?
Good day. I'm very well, and thank you for the invitation.
Thank you so much. I did mention that today we are talking about health and wellness. Basically, sometimes as people, we really don't take seriously the fact that our pets need to be taken care of. Why is that?
I think it's very important for people to understand that why do we have a pet? We don't have a pet for Christmas, and then comes January, it ends up with sauce. That's very important. If we have pets, we've got to look after them. It's like our children. We've got to feed them proper. We've got to make sure that their vaccinations are up to date. And it is important that they do visit a vet once a year at least to get their 5-in-1 vaccine on cats and dogs, and also that they get dewormed every other month.
Yes, when we talk about pets, we think it's just an animal that just stays outside, that eats anything. Sometimes we give them leftovers. I'm hearing you talking about the fact that they need to do vaccine. How do you now know that your pet does not eat meat, your pet is a different pet, only probably takes plain yogurt or just drinks milks only? Or how do you know that? How can I see that my pet needs that?
What is important is first of all, your animal needs to be dewormed, because otherwise any food that you give the animal, you're feeding the worms. And then normally what happens is people get to the vets when it's too late. The second thing is dogs and cats are not made to eat sawdust and bones. If I tell you how many dogs we operate in surgery that's got stuck bones, and it costs money. There's dog pellets for that. That's especially designed for dogs and cats for that reason. They don't need any other feed. It's a fully balanced diet, so stick to that. And if they're not sure what to feed their dogs or cats, consult a vet. That's what we're there for. They're there to help, they're there to assist. But consult a veterinarian. But don't feed sawdust and pop, please. Those days are gone.
Now you're talking about diet, and probably if you're at home are thinking, I thought I'm the only one who's going to watch my diet, but now I have to also watch what my pet eats. Just to educate people at home, if they do not know what to do or how to go about it, because we need our pets to be healthy, that's why we have them at home. What can they do?
There's a few things. At our place, we've got veterinarians employed, 2 veterinarians. We've got a fully animal hospital with anesthesia machines. We have got a proper X-ray machine. It's actually the only one in Eswatini. The clinic will be 1 year old in October. But there's also things that people must realize. If you've got a puppy, there's different puppies, there's different breeds, and there's different feed. You don't feed the same feed to all the puppies. There's small breed puppies, there's large breed puppies, and therefore it's specifically for those animals, for bone development and also organ development. And as they get older, they go to an adult food. There's also on the back of every bag of feed, there's always a recommendation to say how much feed must be fed twice a day to your animal. Don't overfeed them, because you're going to put them on a diet. If they get too fat, it's like humans. They also get heart issues, heart problems, bone structure problems when they're overweight. So there's a food for every specific breed: small breed, large breed, medium breed, and also puppy, large. Then you also get adult, and then from there we also go over to senior, because as they get senior, their nutrition values change. The teeth are getting weaker, so it's important to consult. As I said earlier, consult your veterinarian, talk to them, and please don't buy the cheapest dog food that you get on the market.
Yes.
There's reasons why some dog food are more expensive than others. I always tell my clients, look at your lawn. That will tell you how good the dog food is, what you feed. The bigger the poo, garbage in, garbage out. It means it doesn't digest.
Dr. Van Strip, why do you think we always think that pets can eat anything? The mentality, where do you think that comes from? Because probably sometimes you're like, I can just give them leftovers, or I can just give them bones, or whatever. Where does that come from? How can we change our mindset to think that pets also need to be taken care of? There are certain diets that they need to follow.
I think it's like humans. If you go back 50 years and more in the old age days, we never had the technology we have today. We never had all the ingredients we have today. So as times go on, like anything else, we never had cell phones 30 years ago.
Yeah.
We never had computers. So we've got to adapt and change all the times. And it's the same with our animals. There's reasons why things are getting better. There's reasons why there's specific diets for animals, specific diets for human. And it's also reasons why we say, please don't feed certain things. Some stuff that's toxic to the animals. We don't realize it, but it's a truth. So therefore, there's dog biscuits for dogs and cat biscuits for cats for a reason.
Doctor, what has been the worst case? Probably when a person has brought a pet and you've seen that this has really gone wrong in a very horrible way. What has been your worst case?
The worst cases we see, unfortunately, is that people bring animals to us when they're nearly dead. Then you ask them, when did this start? Oh, I think about a week ago, maybe 2 weeks ago, maybe 3 days ago. I can't remember because I haven't seen the animal for some days. And then we must do miracles, which unfortunately we can't. The difference of us, our patients can't talk. It's not like a human where at least you can say, look,
true.
I've got pain here, I've got pain there. And of course, if they don't deworm, they get to us really where dogs are extremely sick. And also parvovirus. We got a lot of parvovirus, especially in the rainy season, where people get to us and we must do miracles. We also try and tell customers it's prevention is better than cure. It's also the cheapest way of doing it.
Yeah.
People complaining that a vaccine is 380 malangini per shot. But if you got parvo, we start at 4,000. That's excluding the drip, excluding the 24 hours nursing that we got to give them. So we got to look after our animals. Otherwise, we should not have animals. They're very nice when they're small puppies, like humans. When we're babies, we all look very nice. We're beautiful. As we grow older, we're not so nice anymore. And the animals are the same. It's a long-term thing.
But doctor, where can people access information to learn more? Because probably sometimes I want to know, but how do I get the information? Are you working into making it easier for people to access the information and be able to take care of their pets, especially because we're talking about vaccine and the diets that you're talking about? Where can we get those information? Is it accessible to us?
We work very closely with Source. Source got some nice pamphlets to say why do you need to spay animals and why do you need to feed them proper. They're welcome to call our veterinary clinic and hospital, which is Farm Services Veterinary Clinic and Hospital, which is behind Eswatini Police Station in Matsapa, in the Crane Fleets building, which everybody knows. And we've got staff nurses, we've got vets. They're all willing to help, to assist. That's our job. We love animals. That's why we're in the industry that we are. But please, they must feel free to contact us anytime, any day. There's always someone on call that can answer a question. If the vet nurses that answer the calls can't help, they will refer you to the vet that's on duty.
Thank you so much, sir, for your time, and I hope viewers at home have learnt a lot. Especially, I've also learnt a lot because there's certain things that I thought I knew, but today you've helped me out. So thank you so much for that. We hope the viewers are going to come through and get to know more about pets nutrition.
I thank you as well, and I must also thank you to Montego, who's our main sponsor, which is the biggest independent dog food supplier in South Africa with a full range. But please feel free to contact us anytime. We're not just there for the money, we're there for the love of the animals as well.
Thank you.
And I thank you for the invitation.
Thank you so much, sir. Eswatini TV, Sikwana Emavuso Trade Center. We are broadcasting live. Besikhuluma ngayo pet nutrition, the importance yokuthi sitinake tilwane mbokele singatinike noma yini ngoba kumqoka lokuthi esinake nayo a diet. It's very important. It's not about me and you only, but we also need to take care of our animals. As we said that today we are talking about health and wellness. So we need to take care of ourselves and also our animals. We're going to also be talking about COVID mbokele njengoba sishito phambili nesina Fabrice ukuthi sike kwaba ne break let's nje lapho khona bokude trade fair. So now we are back. So also we talk about COVID-19, and where are we going, and where is Eswatini in future when we are talking about COVID-19. Don't go anywhere. Mbukele Kaya, so we're Eswatini TV.
'23 International Trade Fair. Eswatini TV brings you a trade fair promotion and a double celebration package. 5-minute live interview on location for only 4,600 emalangeni. A live Kusile breakfast show interview on location for as low as 3,450 emalangeni. 30 seconds complimentary message for only 12,638 emalangeni 50 cents. 30 seconds commercial advert with a minimum of 20 slots, corporate for only 659 emalangeni 15 cents. Small medium enterprise for only 332 emalangeni 72 cents. Promotion ends on the 30th of September 2023.
What do you think the best part of traveling is? Is it the food, or is it the conversation, or is it the sights and sound? If you're ready to explore, we are ready to show you the best way how. We'll give you access to the best luxury getaway sites in the Kingdom of Eswatini, and of course show you vacation sites that suit your budget, because you do not need a lot of money to actually have a great time. Join us on the next adventure on Buhle Bethu, only on Eswatini TV.
Umsakazo wetithombe iEswatini TV utibophelele kuhlonipha nekulandzela umgomo wetekusakata loweluswe libandla letekuchumana eVeni.
Ngephansi kwalomgomo sitimisele kusakata tindzaba tenteya ngaleso sikhatsi tindzaba letide magama laqosheme letitsembekile letitsinza tonke tinhlangothi naletisebaleni
kusukela kutepolitiki, tetemphilo, tekulima, tetinkantolo netemhlaba wonke jikelele siniletsela tindzaba njengoba tinjalo ngaleso sikhatsi letenteka ngaso.
Kanzi kulomsakato siphindze sikulethele lonke luhlobo lwetemidlalo kusuka emidlalweni welibhola letinyawo kuye emidlalweni ledlalelwa ematafuleni kanye naleto letichamuka ngaphandle kwakuleli.
Leti tindzaba lowutiletselwa ngumsakazo wetithombe iEswatini TV.
Now, thank you very much. We're still live here at Eswatini International Trade Fair at Mavuso, where I would say as part of different organizations or different companies, Eswatini TV also is doing their job to try to display information out there to the members of the public. Right now, I'm joined by the communications and brand officer by the name of Nomcebo Malinga. She's one of the longest serving employees at Eswatini TV. So she will recall when the first time Eswatini TV made appearance here at the International Trade Fair. And thank you very much, Mrs. Malinga, to join us. And once again, it's a beautiful morning.
It's a beautiful morning, Fabrice, and thank you for having me in this beautiful seat. It's a beautiful time. It's exciting times are back. The trade fair is back. You know, thank God. You know, it's 3 years of COVID, you know, hitting the world. You know, it also, you know, affected us as Eswatini. But we are very happy, you know, to celebrate that the country is open for business. And what does that mean? We all need to get up there. We go to the public, and the International Trade Fair opens up such opportunities. For us here, it means we're interacting with the public. We are here to inform the people about our products and our services, and to really hear from them as well, because it's important that whatever we do, we need the feedback. So the feedback is what will help us to improve who we are, so that we are aligned to what the public really needs from us. You asked a very important question, you know, like, let me just relate the first time I was actually a part of the International Trade Fair. Exciting times, Fabrice. I was brand new, I was young.
Oh, you know the funny thing, sorry to catch you, because first experience, Naulanga Pan. You meet the viewers, and I think you've been in my shoes, you've been a presenter, you've been a reporter, you've done everything. The first question you get, usakhona inomcebo ka-TV.
Oh, wow.
Usakhona inomcebo ka-TV. And that also recalls to say, part of the experience that you have as one of the longest serving employees is to know when things happen for the first time. So you experience.
Yes.
Nangabe, if it's allowed for personal reasons, how old were you then, if you remember?
I was there, you know, my first time, you know, working for Eswatini TV, coming in as a presenter, television presenter for Connect Next Superstars. It was a music program that was in 1999.
Yes.
And yes, I was in my late teens.
Yes.
Yeah, I think I was 19. when I actually joined the institution as a television presenter. But lo and behold, the institution or Eswatini TV does give you that room to grow. So I grew. I did a lot of TV presenting. At the same time, we were able to get that necessary training. We had Dietary, who are the people that we work with, that were there to afford us with such opportunities to train, production techniques as well as presentation techniques. So I was able, to actually gain experience from that. And of course, I've met the most wonderful people at Eswatini TV. I'm going to talk about Lenny Shoulder, Ivor Coughlin, Knowledge Makanya, Sabelo Masugu, Makawe Mamba. Those people made us. So it's very important for us to remember these big names because those are the people that made Eswatini TV what it is today. And we are celebrating that, Fabrice. I know my time is very limited. I could go on and on and on. Looking at what we have, our props today at the trade fair, we are speaking to where we come from. We have this camera with our old logo, STBC. It says something. It speaks to the people then, the cast members, the George Mabuzas, of Eswatini TV. So this is what we are trying to commemorate. So my trade fair experience was 2000, my first trade fair experience. Then I was the programming coordinator of the institution, still a television presenter. Good moments, good times.
How was the setup?
It was at the old trade fair.
How big was the room that you were using?
We were at the old trade fair because Mavuso is a new home for the international trade fair. So there's an old trade fair ground in Manzini. Very, very big hall, very hot. But you know what? It was always magical because there we were, as we are today here, you're meeting different people, different organizations and companies. We're all here at once, we are sharing ideas, rubbing shoulders, laughs and business. So it is worth it to actually be a part of this. So yes, we would try to be live, but not live.
In 2000.
Not live. What we did though a lot was pre-recorded shows. And back then we also used to have a lot of concerts. So all these big artists, when they come into the country, the first stop they would make before they go on stage was Eswatini TV stand, where we would get that first and exclusive interview. And we used to use the technology back then to try and get it, back in Baban. And we know that 7 p.m. we're one of the first people that are just, bring out, that information. But lo and behold, we really appreciate where we are today because we're speaking innovation, speaking in the words of our CEO, Mr. Mlamuni Dlamini, we are speaking innovation, and that is the direction that Eswatini TV is taking. What we're doing is, right now, whatever content is, we are live now at the trade fair. This is the innovation we are speaking. People are getting the news as it is, fresh, it's in your face. Social media is also buzzing as I speak. Our YouTube channel is actually buzzing as we speak. They are watching us. So for us, that is what we are doing. We're trying to be there promptly and effectively, to our viewers and to the nation. And we are still going to improve in terms of irritability, Fabrice.
Still on that, because you're saying your first experience, it was in 2000. So 23 years later, of appearing at trade fair as an institution, where do you think we are in line with trade fair? You talked about how small the room was.
Yes.
Probably
hot,
it was
stuffy, but
so 23 years later, look at where we are now.
There's a lot of growth.
We've got, this is the studio at trade fair, but
Yes.
we've got another stand.
Yes.
If trying to explain to someone who's coming here to Mavuso, so when you enter the main pavilion, there's the Ministry of ICT.
Yes.
Next to the Ministry of ICT, there's a stand for Eswatini TV.
Yes.
Prior to EBI is also, that is on the other side.
Yes.
But we also have the studio set up,
Yes.
which means we've grown as an institution.
Most definitely,
So
Fabrice.
your comments on that, to say 23 years later,
Yeah.
prior to that, it wasn't like this.
It was not like this at all, Fabrice. And, speaking of that, we are talking growth, Fabrice, because every year we do try to be a part of the International Trade Fair. But this year we even came stronger, Fabrice, as you mentioned. We are in Hall 2, where we are transmitting from. Our studio is in Hall 2. When you're coming through the gate, Hall 2 is the first hall that you're going to come in touch with. And moreover, it's not just the studio that we are actually transmitting in right now. We also have, adjacent to the studio, we have our business area, where we have our marketing team, we have our TV license team, we have our engineering team for technical information, because we also have that aspect, that we are also, have, that mandate to actually talk about and educate the public, because, it's technology. its gadgets. So we also need to speak to that. So we have the representation, at our TV stand. And the most exciting news, Fabrice, is that TV license is coming in, and we're encouraging the public to come through to the trade fair and pay for their TV license. It's only 180 emalangeni. And the advantage of paying for your TV license at the trade fair this year is that we have a lucky draw. We are giving away a 50-inch smart TV. So whoever is going to be paying for their TV license, you're going to take your name, you're going to put it in a beautiful big box. And if you're like on the last day of the trade fair, then so we're going to be conducting our lucky draw. So I'd like to urge the public, do make your way, come to the International Trade Fair, look for Eswatini TV. We are also available at the main playground where there's all the games and all the performances are taking place. Eswatini TV is right there. We've got two big, beautiful gazebos. Our licensing team and our marketing team is on standby, ready to accept and to welcome the public for any information. And of course, to do, to talk about services and marketing, as well as paying for their TV license. Fabrice.
No, I want to challenge you now, the viewer at home. 23 years later, take a look at this.
Yes.
You see this?
Yes.
It's a tape.
Yes.
So remember, we moved from tapes and we went to CDs. And we're no more using CDs.
Yes.
We're using memory cards.
Yes.
Everywhere in the world.
Right.
Apart from a certain chip.
Right.
So you were there when you were using these tapes.
DVC Pro.
Beniphila kanjani?
That is what we at the equipment. You have to grow, because you're raising a very important question, because you're going to start at the table. What do we call this? This is called a reel.
Yeah.
That is where it all began. Before you're even holding that tape, this is what it was, the reel tape. This is called the REEL, a reel tape. So that's where it began. And then we moved to which one? The beta.
Yeah.
This is the beta tapes.
Yeah.
That is where our content, from beta, we then moved where? We then moved to the DVC Pro tapes. So that is, the journey,
here.
Exactly. That was beta. Very bulky, very big. When you carry them, they are heavy.
They were
you
heavy.
Understand? They were heavy. You put them in your big machines, you press up and hear them, when you're there on. And then you move to this one. Today, what are we talking now? We are talking, the cards now. So that's where we are. So Eswatini TV, in terms of technology, in terms of equipment, yes, we are there. We are thriving. We are trying our best to make sure that, we're in line with whatever is out there. And, for us to also be able to achieve those things, that is why it's important, to speak to the public and just remind them that we need them as much as, they also need us. So it's important for them, like if you are out there and, you would like to put your product, marketing. For us, that's because we're parastatal. We have that responsibility to also raise our own funds. We can't just rely on government. So how do we sustain that? That is through TV license and it's through marketing. So for us to be able to catch up and be at par, with technology and the world out there, more especially we're talking broadcasting. Broadcasting is huge. So we need to be able to align to whatever is happening around the world. So we do urge and encourage the public that please do come through at Eswatini TV. There's added value today for putting your products out there, for advertising with us, and for also paying for your TV license. It's a lot that you will gain as a Swati citizen. But we'd like to just say thank you, onke emaswati. Swatini TVs. We love them. We had to get this opportunity to actually tell them, because you know what, we appreciate them.
All right, I want us to round up the interview. Time is against us. 10 seconds. No, 10 seconds.
Okay.
What's the way forward? This is the International Trade Fair. Can we expect better in the next edition of International Trade Fair for Eswatini TV?
Most definitely, Fabrice. We can expect better. What we'd like, as Eswatini TV, is to actually involve the public. Right now there's you sitting in that seat conducting the interviews. We'd like to actually give the public that opportunity for them to run the studio, for them to run the interviews, to feel what TV is. Right now we're bringing it to them, but next time we want them to be part of it.
Thank you very much. That is Nomcebo Madinga, one of the longest serving employees at Eswatini TV. She was there in 2000. That was not the first edition for Eswatini TV, but she was there 23 years ago when we appeared first, or rather when we appeared in the first days at the International Trade Fair. And we talked about her experience and everything, but maybe a small marketing strategy. You can always catch her on Monday. She has a show called A Kappa with Nomcebo every Monday from 7:30. A short break, we still here at International Trade Fair. We talk about health and wellness. We'll later on touch on with people from the Ministry of Health, or we'll touch on issues of circumcision. We'll also talk about other things that has to do with health and wellness. A short break. When I come back, I'll be I'll be together with my co-host Mbadi Simelane after this. There you have it. I'm joined by Nelly Somakanya. What a full hour workout, man. It was hard to go.
It was really interesting for me, but I must say it was hard, most especially because this was my first time. Best experience at the gymnasium. I really enjoyed moving, honestly, from one place to the other thing. You see, I always see these things on TV, but today I was just having the full-time experience. But I must say, as much as it was interesting and exciting, how I'm feeling right now, it's not really interesting anymore. Most especially because I felt like I'm dying or something.
Yeah, I could tell. You know, one thing I've noted about the gym, it's not every exercise that you prefer or you like.
Okay.
But from the moment we were on the treadmill to the moment we're doing the stretches, which part of the exercise maybe that intrigued you, that you would say if you have to be back at the gym, this is what you should be focusing on?
Well, I think it's the part whereby we're using those machines to work on those back muscles, the legs and stuff like that. But when it comes to lifting up these weights, no, that's not my thing. And most especially the treadmill as well. I think it's the one that actually messed me up because I could tell the temperature rising and everything that was happening while I was there. Running is just not my thing.
What are some of the ways that you got from the instructor when pushing? I mean, he could tell you it was your first time, but there are some specific ways that he was sharing with you. What are some of the ways he was telling you?
Oh no, he was telling me to push harder.
Yeah.
He was telling me to push harder, which I think really connects to what we were talking about, our health and wellness. People need to push harder to be healthy. They need to push harder in order to be well with their lives. I think that's very important because, and it's just not that bad. What I like the most about that gym, it's actually you trying to face my challenges, conquer those challenges that you're having. You know, there was a time whereby I felt like, you know, I don't just give up, this is not working out.
Yeah.
But the instructor could come and just say, push harder, you're almost there, you're almost there. So
the
that
weightlifting part especially.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So I think it's really helpful. There's a lot you can learn from the gym, apart from just getting bulky and all.
You took a break at some point and you can't hide it from the viewer. The camera caught you. Yeah, what were you going through? Tell us about the experience. You were tired, that I know.
Okay.
But the experience when you just decided to take a break.
All right, what happened? Okay, let's go back right to the other part. I think we were about to stretch. Just at the final of everything, I just felt like the whole room just literally went dark. I could feel it just went dark. My eyes got near my own kid. So I don't know what that means. Hopefully they're going to explain to me because the other pro in these things, what was happening to me. But I think it's just my body reacting to the whole experience. But after like 10 minutes of resting, 15 just lying down there, I felt back to myself.
Do you think
again.
You can come back one
day? Of course. Honestly speaking, it has been one of my interests. It's just that it's not something low village. It needs probably a push from somebody maybe with a similar interest or just taking your health and wellness seriously like we are saying this time around.
Do you think you can do that on your own or you need a push-up? Like you need the gym to be full, people to be around to make sure that you get encouraged?
Well, I think it makes it easier if you have somebody, maybe like a friend, that you can come along with to the gym because it actually encourages you, you know, maybe somebody that is already experiencing the thing or you're just starting out together. I think it's important just for the support, you know what I'm talking about. Or, yeah, I think support is important.
All right, my man. Hope to see you next time.
Of course.
I can't wait, I'm tired.
Sure.
I'm tired.
I hope you enjoyed this wonderful thing that we brought to you here. Wellness, health, it's very important. Let us continue pushing that thing. Make sure that you don't just give up like that. If there's one thing that I learned here is that don't just easily give up. Whatsoever it is, it's a challenge, it's a problem, push harder. You're going to gain your victory. See you.
Thank you very much. We all about health and wellness. That short insert was a sign of showing how we encourage members of the public ukuthi kumcwa ukuthi sonke nje eMaswati la sikhona khona sishukumisa umthimba sinake sathi ukuthi impilo tethu titaba letinte. Otherwise, for now we're still live here at Eswatini International Trade Fair, where I'm joined by Sabelo Mlambo. Sabelo Mlambo is from the Ministry of Health, where it's just going to be giving us proper information about male circumcision. When we talk about male circumcision, remember it's in line with health and wellness. And why do we need to do it? And why is it important? Yes, there is a lot of misconception about male circumcision. When you talk about male circumcision, where I'm from, we don't believe in those things. What should I don't know, for the sake of the viewers, I can't use some of the words, but whatever, but just to give us the right information. And I highlighted earlier on during our short conversation prior to say, me personally, I grew up not knowing about such things because my family decided to say, you know what, when I was a baby, they did the process. I didn't grow up knowing, should I not try not to. I grew up knowing this is who I am, this is who I am. But the importance about this topic.
Okay, I think circumcision, if I can say it. But for us in the country, we're doing circumcision for HIV prevention. So this comes after trial studies that were done in 3 countries in Africa: Kenya, Uganda, and South Africa. So it came out with circumcision, reduces the chances of getting HIV to males by 60%. So there are other benefits that are there, which include the reduced chances of getting penile cancer, and also for females. They've got a benefit in terms of reduced chances of getting cervical cancer. Cervical cancer is one of the cancers that are deadly in the country, whereby we've seen a lot of people, females, going outside of the country to seek medical assistance through Palala Fund for cervical cancer. So with circumcision, the females also benefit. But more than anything, the benefit is for the country to introduce circumcision. It was all about HIV prevention. It's one of the methods of trying to fight HIV. As we know, as a country, we are looking at probably ending AIDS by 2030.
Mr. Mlamba, because, I like what you explained, but I feel like most of the time, public at large, the moment I circumcise, need for HIV. And then I think that's where maybe we need to shy away from and touch on the aspect of saying it's about health, it's about who avoid but there is a misconception that HIV is circumcision.
Yes, most of the time I'm using the word reduce because lana HIV. Akusho ukuthi nangabe sosokile sithi ungachubeka utende letinye indlela lekusingafaka ekhathi ukuthi usebenzise icondom ngaso sonke isikhathi ngendlela lekahle. Asisho futhi ukuthi nasosokile mhlambe ungathembeki kuloyo lothandzana naye. Noma ke nangabe useselicala ijali elincane ngoba sicala ku15 years kuso. Asisho ukuthi ngoba sosokile salucala ulala, but sithi uchubeke uabstain noma ungalali kwasanhlobo kuze kufike isikhathi lesikahle. So i-circumcision ayihambi yodfana. Ihamba nato tonke letinye indlela tekuzama kulwa nalo ligciwane le-HIV. Lekufaka ekhathi kusebenzisa necondom, lekufaka ekhathi kona kusebenzisa abo PrEP, lekufaka ekhathi kona ukuthi nangabe unabogcinsula uhambe uyoba lapha. So nje i-circumcision, it's part of HIV prevention strategies that the country brought in to ensure that we fight HIV and end AIDS by 2030.
Mr. Mlam, yeah, I'm getting the information that I want, but I want to be specific now. There are religions. Muslims, majority of Muslims believe that a wife cannot accept you as a husband if you have not conducted a circumcision. Now that is a belief. Health, some of them, in other countries are like that. Since as the Minister of Health, the campaign of encouraging Amaswati to circumcise, how is the percentage of people who are responding to your suggestion to say, the process of circumcision? How is the percentage currently?
Okay, the main goal is to reach 80% of those eligible men to circumcise. But as a country, since we started circumcision in 2009, we're around 40%. which means there's still a lot of men that still need to take up the service. And probably largely, the best before, it was the age group of 10 to 14. But we're no longer circumcising that age group. We're targeting the age group of 15 to 49, with the priority age group being 15 to 29 years, as an immediate impact in terms of HIV prevention. So that's where the last range is 40%. We still wish ukuthi eMaswati angalithatha le service because it has a lot of benefits, and such that sitofika kulo 80% atowehla lamathuba ukuthi singaba nale gcone le HIV kule van, and sitokwathi kufika kulo kucedza i-AIDS nga-2030.
Now, kuyatalwa every day. There's ongoing procedures. Angeke yini kube kuhle going forward, Mr. Mlambo, to say as a ministry, you put it out there as a suggestion to say nagatalwa umfana ukuthi immediate nagatalwa i-conduct le circumcision. Akhona yini ama-possibilities noma you leave it to the parents, you are leaving to the parents to say make a decision, because I think going forward lokho kungasita to say whenever a child is born the circumcision should be conducted immediately.
As a ministry, we so much wish to circumcise labo bantwana vele nabatalwa, because we have to circumcise them from 0 to 2 months. So, but unfortunately, we don't have the funds for such a program. But there are facilities la kwendawo at a low scale. Now, begisa elbonjeni ukhona ku Shepherd, ukhona probably Pigs Peak gahoho, and sina namankayana na probably uyagwenda. So those bigger hospitals now ayagwenda, and at a request, but they always provide the service. Sometimes ukhanza ukuthi umfana kune condition let's say mhlawumbe lo jwabu lakhe alivuleki kwasanhlo.
Yes.
So ukhanza ukuthi ke lapho vele umntali for that medical reason ukhanza ukuthi umfana sogcina soyasuka ngaleyo ndlela leyo. But vele singaba kuhle ukuthi sivalele impompi lekucaleni from asatalwa lo mfana ezubekisile ekucaleni ukuthi kunala ema Muslims khona la sokako na utalwa nje uyavula usoka. Nathi siyafisa silive ukuthi sikhone ukuthi umfana semsoke from loyo 0 alilanga lakhe lekucala up until the 2 months lapho ngabe sesesima khona, because lapho kusuke kude lobuhlungu probably umfana la kuvako na umsokako and akathungwa ngaleso sikhathi. So singaba encourage nje batali ukuthi nangabe ati ukuthi unemfana emfana akavele afune kulithatha le service.
Now, Mr. Mlambo, hitting the conclusion of our interview, wasithusa sonke, and I don't think it's only me, Amaswati kuphela, even out of the country, the entire world, the female circumcision, the importance of female circumcision. And I think up to today, wherever you are at home, as a viewer, anyone, female circumcision, why is it important? Why should it be conducted? Why should it be done? Just briefly.
Unfortunately for us as a country, we are not practicing female circumcision.
To catch you, sometimes the way you're explaining the male circumcision, because they're men, but then necessarily female circumcision, then we're a bit offside to say now we don't go through. But you being an officer of the Minister of Health, you have an understanding what you're talking about.
Yes, I do understand. They call it genital mutilation.
Yes.
Which is something that basically we are not doing as a ministry. And I wouldn't know exactly the benefits of that. But I know, would see from the Muslim countries, there are where like Labagwenda Kona, and they are cutting one of the sensitive parts of the female when they are doing that. But as a country, we are practicing male circumcision, not female circumcision at all.
All right. Thank you very much, Mr. Sabero Mlambo. We appreciate your presence here and the information you just gave us. That was well fruitful. Thank you very much for your time.
Siyabonga ngasho nje ukuthi eMaswati nangabafuna kuvaka abantu ngekusoka ngamshayela 2030 inombolo yamahala la ngasithola khona kana ngazivakashana stand set khona la trade fair.
All right. Sikuphi stand sen umuntu nangangena trade fair main gate pavilion nikuphi kahle kahle.
Sise pavilion 2 now ungena nje mnyango pavilion 2 on your right with a stand sekuqala the second stand sethu ka circumcision. At the same time na pavilion 4 kule stand le pavilion ya Ministry of Health, you are there as SNAP plus the coordination ya HIV prevention nakhona lapho na ufika batakukhulumisa ngetindzaba te circumcision.
Le circumcision niyayenda la
In actual facts nangabe ufuna kusoka sinaye RFM la Thutane.
Okay.
Siyakhona ukuthi sikuthathe uhambe uyosoka khona.
All right. Thank you very much for the information. Sabelo Mlambo from the Ministry of Health, just talking about the male circumcision. It is in line with health and wellness, which is the main topic today. We're all about encouraging Eswatini to keep health and also maintain their wellness. We're live here at Eswatini International Trade Fair. If you just tune in on Eswatini TV, you're wondering what's happening. This is the day that the Lord has made. It's a Sunday, but it's live here at the 2023 International Trade Fair. A short break. When we come back, more information, more updates about the trade fair and about you as a viewer, your health and your wellness after this.
Ubusebiyelele wena Mswati wabusa phambi kwetitha wasuyathi ndlula wasuyahamba wasuyashashabula uyimbubu ngwenyama ngumkhokho yabalekela udle ematholo ezinyathi wena waphakathi wayethi
umnyaka wa-2023 ngumnyaka lomkhulu eSwatini njengoba live lihalekisela ingwenyama yenkosi Mswati wesithathu iminyaka lengama-55 yadalwa lehlanganiswe negubha iminyaka lengama-55 live latfola amazibuse igcamisa lo mkhosi lomkhulu welive umsakazo weSwatini TV umemasive ukuthi sibukele tinhlelo elikhombisa imisebenzi yentuthuko yelive leyasukunyiswa yaphinze yasekelwa silo inkosi Mswati wesithathu lesoloyisa imamise live nalomuhla inhlelo tingena njalo ngelisonto ngensimbi yesine entsambama halala mbangazitha halala eSwatini.
Busisika mzalwane ngikubukela umculo wemadodana ahlabelela adumisa uNkulunkulu. Amadodana nendumiso luhlelo lwakhele wena mbukeli ude utawuvuseleleka emoyeni uphinze udumise nelidodana sibabade longabonwa ngemehlo. Phakama Nkosi yemazulu luthumbo lwakho. Amadodana nendumiso.
I see people very, very anxious. I see young people, children, also worried and anxious today. Again, I don't think I'd ever heard of an educational psychologist when I was at school. And today I hear of educational psychologists at schools. So that's telling me a story. And so young and old, everybody seems to be worried and anxious. And again, I see that it's not an external problem. Maybe there's a situation where really there is cause for concern. For example, it may be that I don't have enough money. Maybe it's possible that I've been given a diagnosis of an illness and it could be quite threatening. Or maybe somebody I love very much who's close to me has been given that diagnosis. So there are very real causes for anxiety sometimes. But also, have you noticed that sometimes there are things that are quite stable, quite okay, but there's the habit of worrying. And a person gets anxious when there's really no need to be anxious at all. I'm not even talking about the extreme situations of phobias, because that is something which is a medical issue and can be dealt with separately, but just day-to-day living and worried about this, that, and the other. You know, there was a survey done some time ago, and this was by one of the British national papers, daily papers, and they asked people, how often was it that the cause of their worry became a reality, and how often was that the cause of their worry really had no basis at all, and they discovered later that there was no basis, they were just worrying. And about 80% of the time, the things that we are worried about actually never happen. So that's also a fact of life. But just thinking about where people really have a cause for anxiety. Maybe I don't have enough money. Is it possible for me to think about money in a different way? And instead of thinking not having enough, I start thinking, well, where is it I can start saving? And probably there are things that I can simplify in my life to a certain extent, maybe not a great extent, a certain extent. Maybe is it possible for me to get a second job? And maybe it's not. I understand that also. But just allowing the mind not to get stuck into just worrying, I can't, what's going to happen, to start thinking a little bit differently, to start moving the mind into a space that's a little bit more creative, so that I allow myself the possibility of hope for the future. Because so often with worry and anxiety comes depression, in which I lose hope for the future. And human life without hope is really no life at all. But if I can shift my thinking and come back to a state in which I can be a little bit more creative, there can be hope. I know, for example, when people have been told about illness, I've seen two reactions. Again, a person lose hope and become very anxious, but other people, and it's not one or two, it's been several individuals that I've seen, and they look at it differently. They look at it as an opportunity to change the course of their life, where they've been busy, and haven't had time for family, haven't had time for the self. Now they discover that it's now possible. They're given permission to be able to shift their lifestyle and make time for the self and family. And once they start doing that, again, the quality of life begins to improve. And of course, again, it's a known medical fact that if you have faith and hope, you're more likely to be able to reverse the illness, whatever it may be. And if you lose hope and say, woe is me, how sad, how bad, who can help you? Even the doctors can't help you. And so my way of thinking, my pattern of thinking is something that I can take charge of, which is something that we've never appreciated usually. We think that, the way I'm thinking is the way I am, and that's how it's always going to be. But spirituality is saying, I am the master of my own mind. I am the master of my own thoughts, and I can move my thoughts from a dark place to a place of light. I can begin to shift my own thinking and make it different.
Mbukeli solobukela na Eswatini TV njengoba sisho phambili ukuthi sisemavuso Trade Center, we are broadcasting live. Ibito lami ngengibali wakaSimilana umnguni Mpembe Ndlozi Mchwane. Today Mbukeli we are talking about health and wellness. Sichaza ke indzaba lemcuwa kakhulu lesikhohlwa esikhathini esiningi Mbukeli. Nyalo ke Mbukeli sizakhulumisa indzaba lesikhohlwa, which is very important, indzaba ye inner being. Esikhathini esiningi sisinaka the physical, we take care of ourselves by going to the gym, we jog, we eat properly and forget that we need to take care of ourselves spiritually. I'm very excited, and also ngiyethemba usinalapha just now with my guest, Brother Koch, who's going to tell us more, or rather teach us this importance of dealing with your spiritual, or rather your inner being. Brother Koch, thank you so much for being with us. Actually, he's from Braham Kumaris at the movement, right?
Yes.
Thank you so much for being with us. Thank you so much for your time.
Thank you for having me.
Can you please tell us more about yourself and also talk about the Braham Kumaris movement?
Okay. As you said, now I'm Brother Go. Actually,
I'm a practitioner of spirituality for the past around 20 years. And I practice with one organization which is called Permaculture, World Spiritual University. And in this institute, I am a volunteer, also I am a teacher, and also I am a practitioner. And what we do in this organization is, our motto says that when I change, the world will change.
Yes.
So basically what we deal with is to transform ourselves for a better person. And mostly we thought by being educated in a worldly way, we become a better person. But yes, we become a better person in our profession, in our qualification, not really in our personality.
Yeah.
So that's why Brahma Kumaris are dealing properly about spirituality, which leads to a better personality or character.
Yes. Brother Gog, talking about, I did mention that in most cases we only deal with the physical. We think that when you look a certain way, you are healthy. When you eat a certain food, you're doing right, which there's nothing wrong with that. When we go jogging, you do certain things. When you go to the gym, there's nothing wrong with taking care of the physical. But what is the importance of taking care of the inner person that we are really talking about today?
Yeah, it is very good to take care of the body. Even nowadays, we are not even able to take care of our body, even if we are advised with so many guidelines like doctors, families, friends, everyone can advise about body. But what you bring now is to really to take care of ourselves. And first and foremost, who am I? Do I really know even to take care of it? So that's why the best thing to first to understand, to not get the knowledge, who am I? Who am I is I'm not really a physical body. I am the spiritual being, the master of the physical world, including my body. So once, if you are spiritually very strong, what will happen is your capacity to manage yourself and to manage even the external, your physical, your work, your relationship, become very powerful.
Yeah.
So that's why we say we have to first and foremost understand who am I.
Talking about that, so why do you think, where does that mentality comes from? That we need to just take care of our physical, not dig deep and talk about, or rather deal with our spiritual being. How did we get to that part of ignoring the most important? Because I think it's also most important. How to get to a point where we ignored that part of dealing with our inner being and just decide to deal with our physical?
This the very important thing is, I was saying it like, we don't know who we are. We are not even neglecting ourselves. But first and foremost, we don't know who we are. And then the things which you don't know, how do you take care of it?
Yeah, true.
You see, that is the basic thing is, we got a knowledge about each part of our body, each part of profession. We get a knowledge out there about how to plant trees, how to take care of trees, how to farm. There are so many things. But for ourselves, the first thing is we don't know who we are. And then once you start to know who you are, and that is the time now to educate yourself, to take care of yourself, and to deal with yourself. So it is not neglected. In my understanding, we don't even know who we are.
Yeah.
We already believe that we are this physical body.
Yeah. So talking about taking care of ourselves and not neglecting certain things or things that we don't know about. What does Brahma Kumaris offers, the services that you offer? I'm talking because now we need to enlighten the people at home that as much as you're doing this, you can also do this because these are the services that you guys offer.
Yes, I love the Brahma Kumaris, not really actually because I am involved into it, but it is one of the options or the offer for the world, someone to start to understand himself and to take care of himself. So it is a good opportunity and one of the alternatives which is out there in the world, and we are giving courses. Courses, basically, we call it Raja Yoga meditation course. That meditation course is a 7-day course, not a full day, but 45 minutes every day. And we offer this course very flexibly. Because today the world demands a lot of our time. What we do is, if someone wants us to take the course every other day or every 3 days, we allow even those. And the other thing is also we are so flexible in our time. We adjust according to the people time. The reason why we do this is because we believe the importance of understanding the self and transforming the self. The people out there, as I said, we don't even know properly who we are. We don't even know the importance of it because we are not getting too educated about it. So we are the one who are responsible, I believe, to adjust ourselves, to expose ourselves as much as we can, to really people come and study and transform their life. And there are a lot, my life is my witness actually. Since I came to Raja Yoga meditation, I really lead a life of peaceful, happy, wise, and also healthy life. Because the health of the body also very important, by the way. It will not be neglected. So that's what we do.
Brother, I just want to ask, now that you're talking about services, we know that when you're talking about spiritual, most people just know that you're talking about meditation and you need to do it a certain way and do certain things. But I just heard how you're explaining when you're talking about the course that you offer, that you give a course of 7 days. Then what happens after 7 days? Does it mean now I can do it alone at home? Or it means I need to go to the center? Because we usually see everybody together doing everything like a gym session. So how does the Brahma Kumaris work when it comes to the normal way that we think is normal, we know of meditation?
Yeah. You know, in today's world, by the way, if you Google or read any book, you hear about the importance of meditation. And everyone tries to do it by himself. And then they say, I'm meditating, but nothing happens. I didn't able to concentrate. I didn't able to really relax or something like that. So that's why we give this 7 days course. The 7 days course give us the details of what we meditate, who meditate, how we meditate, for how long we have to meditate. All these things are included in that. And after 7 days course, definitely a person probably doesn't need every day to come to the center. But he got the tools, and then at the same time, thanks for technology, we also coach online. So they get everyday study online through apps, and then at the same time there are different topics of talks about anxiety, worry, and so many topics through online. So they can maintain themselves using all these supports. But the basic thing is spirituality is a lifelong study. Like anything, if you have a profession, if you just be away from your profession, you become so new again for your profession. And the physical exercise, same. If you stop exercising, the body acts differently, you look different. And spirituality also, if you don't do it on a regular basis, you become the same person. The transformation or the development about your character, your behavior, your feelings will stop.
Brother Koch, talking about that now, people know the gym side that I mentioned earlier on, that you need to go jog and do certain things and diet and stuff. But what are you doing to inform us or to teach people that, as much as you're taking care of the physical side, you need to take care of your inner being? What are you doing to reach us to people? Because a lot of people, I also want to try meditation, but now it's better because now I'll get into it having information. But certain people don't know. They're probably thinking this is for certain people and it's not for me. But in actual fact is that everyone needs to balance the inner self.
Yeah, one of the powerful things which we have to underline is the self or the spiritual being is a master of the body. So if you neglect the master and then you are busy on the slave, then what happens is we don't get the right result in
Yes.
our life. That's why now too much stress, worry, confusion, everything, because the master is now in a very fast sleep, you know.
Yeah, sir.
So that's why what we have to do, all of us, we have to now try to think, just who am I? And the second thing is also, okay, if there is alternative, if there is some kind of offer nowadays, through internet also there are a lot of offer. But what I advise is, personally, if you are meeting a teacher and then trying to Google or read a book, it's a complete different thing. Because they say books don't have life, you know? Even if they educate you, but it doesn't give you experience, it doesn't give you energy, it doesn't share you the energy. So I advise everyone to come to our center. And the beauty of our center is all our courses are given for free. So we don't charge. The reason we don't charge is because our motto says, when I change, the world will change.
Yeah.
Then our aim is really totally to change the whole world. If you are giving it for rich ones, for those who have money, then what will happen? Do you think you'll reach to your aim to change the world? No.
True.
And then also, it is something which is invaluable. You know, price is very, very shallow for our course, we believe.
Yes.
So we don't charge. Our price is, I believe, the transformation of people's life.
Yeah. Talking about people, Brother Go, is there an age group where you have to start?
Yeah.
I'm not just talking about attending the center, but is there age probably where we can say when you're 10 years, now you can start going for, or rather you can now learn how to do meditation or taking care of your inner self. Where is it? Where is the age restriction? Probably I can say that. Where can you start? How old are, when? Let's just talk about age, sir, because I'm trying to figure out how to say it. But basically, when can I start?
I understand.
To come to the service?
Yeah. You know, most they ask even rather qualification, you know?
Yes.
What qualification I need, or what can I bring to the center? Because most they think also it's a physical exercise. But for us, from the child, maybe 7 years, even 4 years, 5 years, because there are also children classes online we give. From starting from childhood, someone until the age of, until he dies, I can say, he can take a step to improve himself. Because the point is, this education helps us to change our thinking, our feeling, and our character, our acts. You see. So if a person at the age of 90, if he wants also to be calm, peaceful, even still wise, yes, there is a possibility. As long as you make the effort. So there is no age restriction, no educational background, and at the same time, no denomination for us also. Whoever, whatever religion someone, even can come and learn.
Thank you so much, sir, for your time, and thank you for educating us, because this was very important. We need to take care of our inner being. Thank you so much, sir, for your time.
Thank you so much. It is a great pleasure. You give us this powerful time. Really, I hope so many will come and learn.
Thank you, sir. Mbukeli Eswatini TV solokhona eMavuso Trade Center. We are talking about health and wellness. Beshito ke phambili mbukeli ukuthi kumxoka lokuthi sitinake. And now we're not only talking about taking care of ourselves by going to the gym or go jogging or eating properly, but we're also talking about taking care of your inner being. It's very important to do that. Bashito ke mbukeli ukuthi you don't have to pay anything. You just go to the center and take a course for 7 days, and after that you can do it in your own space. Mbukeli, as we are talking about health and wellness, right now we're going to go straight to Fabrice. Sibone ukuthi nakaxoxisana nutrition uthule diphi indaba mbukeli ngethemba ukuthi nawe udafunza lokunenge.
Thank you very much for joining us right here. This is a special edition interview for the 2023 Trade Fair. As you know, we cannot talk about other things without also mentioning being health and also attaching every issue that has to do with illness. So this specific interview or this specific segment will be just dealing with issues of healthness and being health and wellness. So those two words in one way they complement each other. So you can't be healthy without also doing issues that are related to wellness. So for this moment, I'll be joined by Retha Harding. She's actually a dietitian. We want to know first, when you talk about a dietitian, what are we referring to? Who is a dietitian? What does he or she do? And all those topics that are also under the umbrella of being a dietitian. Retha, just joining us this day. Good day. How are you? How are you feeling?
Hello, Fabrice. I'm well, thanks to yourself. Thank you for having me on this special show.
Yes. There's a lot of information. I can wake up today, I want to be a dietitian. I can wake up, I can advise anyone because I probably attend a specific session, talk about being a dietitian. When you talk about dietitian, who is a dietitian and what is a dietitian about?
Okay, so basically a dietitian is a medical practitioner who has to be actually registered with the Swaziland Medical and Dental Council. So we register with the Medical and Dental Council. Also, if you are a dietitian, you can practice in certain areas throughout Eswatini. Like, for example, I practice in Mbaban at Moormed Clinic, Matsapa Healthcare. We can practice in certain hospital settings. I've got a dietitian who works under me at Manzini Clinic. And we are often contracted to medical aid. So we can charge through medical aid or cash. But basically, a dietitian is someone who helps nutritionally to cure and to address certain medical conditions that need nutrition intervention.
Rather, there's a lot of misconception about what I should eat, what another person should eat, and at some point I have to draw it to the blood group, if I'm making sense, to say there's a specific meal that is okay for me, there's another meal that is not okay for me. But then how, personally, without regarding the issue of blood group, how do I create a meal that is conducive, that is well, fitting my schedule day to day, 8 hours in a workplace, to make sure that I maintain my body size and I'm well healthy?
Thank you for that question. There are a lot of misconceptions regarding nutrition and well-being. One of them, unfortunately, is that we can just read up on the internet and find the perfect diet for ourselves. Unfortunately, one of the diets that has become extremely popular in Eswatini is the blood group diet. There's not a lot of research behind the blood group diet, so I will be discussing other interventions later on. But what I would suggest is to definitely seek medical nutritional help and advice from a professional, such as a dietitian or a nutritionist. And they can actually come up with a special meal plan for your specific requirements and your lifestyle. So, for example, if you're a very active person, your diet would differ to somebody who just sits on the couch and watches TV all day.
Prior to this interview, I'm not supposed to reveal that, but there's a meal I just had. I can't tell you the meal, but how is it important to mind what you eat? Because the reason why I'm saying that I won't say what I ate, but I want to make sure that what if what I ate prior to this interview was not okay for my body? So tell us about the importance of what we eat. Why should we monitor what we eat? And according to the hours, I can be eating a full meal at 8 in the morning. So just give us those insight information about the importance of what we eat.
Okay, so obviously we are aiming to eat healthy foods and to give our bodies the maximum nutritional intake for a few reasons. One of them is longevity. We want to live a nice long life. Also for us to look healthier and feel healthier, and to also lead by example to our children and our children's children. So basically we wanting to lead by example and make the right choices. But often what's happening is we don't plan our day ahead. So we just waking up any time of the day, we don't really think about what we're going to be eating. And what happens is our stomachs then depict for us what what our bodies are craving. So it's very, very important to actually have a plan in place, have a meal plan, so that you don't just listen to your body and at that hungry point go and eat the takeaways, for example, what you've just done now. And that's possibly because you got to the point where you didn't have a plan, you just had a craving for something and your mind then took over and you ended up eating a takeaway that was not correct for your body.
A lot of misconception like highlighted. There's also another issue of weight loss.
Yes.
When you talk about weight loss or weight gain, I want to gain weight. Probably I'm thinking more protein. I want to lose weight. I'm thinking a lot of water, all those things. It's another misconception. Maybe just to give us an idea, when you say you want to lose weight, what should be the main focus? When you say you want to gain a bit of weight, what should be the main focus? In relation to being, of course, a dietitian.
Yes, so gaining weight, yes, we definitely need to actually calculate your protein requirements. Because without the correct protein requirements and without the correct protein intake, what's going to happen is your body is going to end up what we call in a catabolic state, where your body starts eating the protein in your muscles to provide energy for your requirements for the day. So we would need the right protein intake, we would need also the right timing in terms of the day and where your exercise is sitting in. If we are not eating the right amount of protein and carbohydrates before your exercise, what ends up happening is that your body ends up just using up calories and energy throughout that exercise session, and you will never actually pick up the weight. So we need to calculate that correct, which is 1.2 to 1.5 grams of protein per kilogram of your body weight for your requirements, and then for the carbohydrates we're looking at 3 grams per kilogram to reach that as well. And often the average person on the street will think, oh, protein is the only thing that's going to help to gain your muscle mass. But carbohydrates, which are things like bread, pastas, rice, potatoes, they also actually work in a state where they protect your muscles. They protect the protein that you're eating. So you do need to eat enough of those also to pick up weight. And in terms of losing weight, the timing is more important, and the types, the quality of your macronutrients are very important. Eating small, more frequent meals to keep your blood sugar more stable and to keep the hormones more in control. Because at the end of the day, to lose weight, it's very important to control your hormone levels. That is the most important factor in terms of fat loss and weight loss.
Still on that, Doc, do you call a dietitian a doc?
We can. I mean, it depends on which level of education you're getting to.
All
yes.
Right. Still on that, I think another misconception that is out there, which I want to make sure that the viewer out there, they have to get an idea of what we're talking about. The amount of meals you should take per day. I mean, there's breakfast, there's lunch, there is the afternoon cup of tea or coffee or anything. For instance, the type of job we're into, like this job, if my interview is at 5 in the morning, which means my first meal could be at 9, my second could be at 2 p.m., and my last one, or probably my fourth one, could be at 10 p.m. As a normal human being, how many meals should we have per day? And specific hours in terms of how you maintain your digestion.
Okay, so the general rule is that we should be eating 5 to 6 small meals throughout the day. It all depends on the individual though. So for example, if you've got a lifestyle where you wake up at 5 o'clock and you need to be at work at 6 o'clock, on the job, then a fasting plan could actually work for you, which is what we call intermittent fasting. Whereas you start eating a little bit later on the day, you eat over the 8-hour period, and we fast for 16 hours. And by doing that, what happens is your body actually gives time for your inflammatory responses to decrease and all your hormones to be more controlled, such as your insulin, your cortisol. So it really is an individual choice. An individual assessment will determine on the hours that the person should be eating and how often. But generally, we would like you to eat within a certain period of time and eating small, more frequent meals. So, like I say, once again, it's very individual. You may be someone who should be starting at 5 o'clock, eating within an hour of waking up, and we continue throughout the day, depends on your activity levels. Otherwise, we can do a plan for you where you start at 12 o'clock and you end at 8 o'clock. But we shouldn't just be eating all throughout the day, all throughout the night, and then it doesn't give your body and your hormones a time to actually settle down and decrease the inflammatory responses in the body.
Doc, before I get to my next topic, when growing up, there were a lot of do's and don'ts For instance, you should eat a lot of fruits. They are good for you. More vegetables and all those type of information we're getting from our parents to say there's a specific, group of foods that you should eat to avoid some illness, and there are other foods that you should actually stay away from.
Yes,
so just also maybe just give us information on that topic to say I might be a person, personally I don't like eating vegetables, but I've been told many times that it's healthy. So just give us an idea of what we're talking about.
Okay, so what we call the rainbow foods, which are your leafy green vegetables, your peppers, your apples, all the colors of the rainbow is what we're needing to try and actually include in our daily diets. And the reason for that is because they contain something called antioxidants, phytonutrients that help to prevent things like cancer, diabetes, chronic conditions. We should be taking, actually the new recommendations are 5 portions of vegetables a day and 2 to 3 portions of fruit a day, which is quite a lot if you take that into consideration as to how much we're actually taking. So those are the foods we do need to try and get in. But unfortunately, if you eat certain vegetables without adding, such as things like olive oil or specific fat-soluble elements in, your body doesn't always absorb all the vitamins, the fat-soluble vitamins. So we always suggest if you have a salad, put a little bit of olive oil on top of that. Eating definitely more vegetables than fruit, because fruit contains the sugars. And then what we should be really avoiding are your processed meats. So unfortunately, the very cheap foods, the polonies, the sausages, the Viennas, those foods are a little bit more processed. They don't have too much nutritional value to the body. So yes, we do want to include more of the fruit and veggies, filling up your plate. So if you look at your plate over here, I don't know if you can see, we should be having, our plate should consist of a quarter plate of what we call our whole grain carbohydrates, a quarter plate of your meats, your lean meats, chicken, fish, your eggs and your lean meat, and then half of the plate should be our green leafy veggies and our salads. You can see lots of rainbow colors over there.
All right. There's another topic that personally I've always wanted to also find out how it works. For instance, we people come from different religions. Those who probably are referred to Muslims during the 12 months of the year. They have a specific period where they fast. Christians also they have a specific period where they fast. The schedule on when to eat and what to eat changes. And in terms of how that affect your body and your digestion, also tell us. For instance, I wake up, they say you should take a glass of water and wait until 6 in the evening to eat something. How does that also affect your digestion?
Yeah, it all depends on, usually these fasting regimes are more spiritual. So mentally they do help a lot, which obviously we all know that mental health is very important, and that also keeps the gut healthy and all of that. But depending on the type of fast, there can be some benefits, but we can also predispose ourselves to things like ulcers if we don't eat and our body is actually craving foods that we need, increases acidity in the body. So I prefer to follow more the intermittent fasting program, which is where you actually eat for the 8 hours and you fast while you're sleeping, which is more the 16 hours. The studies have shown that there are numerous benefits to that fasting schedule.
There's a topic we touched on when we talk about weight loss, to say how do you deprive yourself from specific type of meals. For instance, I want to lose weight. Do I avoid completely meat? Do I stick to a lot of water? Or I've heard some instances where they say you maintain food, but not the amount of food you're supposed to be eating. How true is that also?
Yeah, so if you wanted to lose weight, you need to go into a calorie deficit. So if you're used to eating, let's say, 3,000 calories a day, and now you go down to 2,000 calories a day, and you're expending quite a lot of energy, you will definitely lose weight. But you need a health professional to guide you in that direction. So definitely also if you come to, we're talking about hydration, you need to be able to hydrate throughout the day so that your hypothalamus, which is part of your brain, can know the difference between hunger and thirst, because often what happens is if you're not hydrated, your body can now say, it will give your brain a signal to say I'm hungry, and the brain will then get liquids out of your food. So it's very important to maintain that hydration status for weight loss, and But once again, you need professional help if you're going to be wanting to lose weight, because every person is individual in terms of their activity levels, their requirements of their protein, their carbohydrates. And I would definitely say that carbohydrates are not the enemy. A lot of us believe that by cutting out carbohydrates completely, we're going to be losing weight, but often what happens is you end up losing muscle, and that's why you end up losing weight so quickly. And that is not the right way to do it.
All right. Besides our discussion today, there is a lot of information maybe people want to know in terms of who you are and what you're all about. You're the director and founder of Goro. Just tell us about that. What is it about? And just give us information. Tomorrow, a lot of people might be knocking at your door. They want information about this. Just tell us about that.
Okay, so Go Raw, we founded it about 5 years ago. It is a cold press, small family-run cold press juicing company. We grow our own vegetables in our tunnel, our own superfoods such as ginger, garlic, turmeric, root, all of that. And we actually use special machinery that presses the fruit and the vegetables and makes juice out of it. Now, cold pressed that is what the technique is called. It's different to a centrifugal juicer, where that uses heat and blades to actually cut down and juice the products. And the reason why we've decided to use cold pressed and making juice was because there was no very good quality, high quality juice on the market. I found a lot of my clients were coming in, what can we drink? You know, and you're advising these low calorie drinks which are just full of artificial sweeteners, which are not good for your body. So the way the cold press works is there's no heat involved in the pressing of the vegetables and the fruit to make the juice, which then preserves the proteins and the enzymes. So when you are taking these products into your body is maximizing on all of those nutrients that are coming through the vegetables and the fruit.
Doc, for the sake of the viewers, and I think this is what you're passionate about. It's all about eating well, stay healthy, and it's all about wellness. Just maybe for the sake of the viewers, tell us about your day when you wake up in the morning. You give us the overall advice to say this is what you're supposed to be eating before we conclude. But tell us about your day when you wake up, what you take. Before lunch, what should you take? You personally. And then prior to the evening, what do you take? Then that will give us an idea to say, we want to be like you. And this is what you do. And then you also tell us about, as a general human being, this is how your day should look like.
Yes. Okay, so personally, my own day, I wake up quite early at about 5:30, 6 o'clock. I like to take a little bit of time to have a cup of tea just to wake up slowly. Yes, I have my cup of tea in the morning, first thing. Just a little bit of milk, no sugar. Then what I do is I go for a run, 30-minute little run. So you're wanting to do a bit of exercise on a fasting state so that you don't have too much food in your stomach, so that your body can really benefit from that blood sugar, not a high blood sugar, nice stabilized blood sugar. Then your body burns a lot more fat. I come back, I have my shot of my cold pressed juice, and usually a smoothie, so I add in...
Sorry, I got a bit worried when you say shot. I was thinking...
No alcohol.
All right,
and then I make a nice smoothie, which is a balance of... I've got my protein superfood mix that I add in. I've got my green out of my tunnel. I grow a lot of seedlings, so spinach seedlings, baby spinach, kale. We add a handful of that in, a bit of milk, plain yogurt, and some berries. And that's my breakfast. So it's got a mixture of your proteins, your carbohydrates, gut-loving foods, your super greens, all of that. And that keeps me going until about mid-morning when I have a boiled egg. Lunchtime, usually a salad-based meal with a bit of legumes on it, or a healthy, for example, like a chicken breast cut up. And then I definitely do include a bit of carbohydrates in my day. So I'll have maybe some sweet potatoes, some butternut, or even a slice of toast if I'm feeling a little bit lazy. Doesn't always have to be difficult food, A slice of whole grain toast with your avocado on and maybe a side salad is a very good, easy option as well. Afternoons, if there's time, have a fruit here or there, and then dinner time, we always have a nice combination of your protein, same. So what I do at dinner is we follow this rule, where you have your pasta, a little bit of pasta, about a quarter plate, or some rice. And if we do a stew, then I'll add a side salad and have a low-fat meat with that, usually grilled. But yeah, that's my dinner.
You see, once again, a lot of misconception because I didn't hear water in your list.
Oh, okay, no, water's there, I promise.
Talk about water. And then maybe lastly, all the things you just mentioned, we don't have the same privilege to say what you can afford, I can afford, all those things. Just give us now the general truth to say, for everything that you can afford as a human being, what you have in your house, what can you use to maintain your diet? Yeah.
Okay, so I think the main important thing is to try and actually have your little garden. If you can have a small space of land and grow your own veggies, you know, the easy things to grow are things like beetroot, spinach, cauliflowers, cabbages, you know, all of those things that you can get a variety of colors through that, even your carrots. And there's nothing wrong with eating a bit of mealie meal, okay, or corn, if that's all you can afford in your home. But the most important thing is to control that blood sugar level. So it's better to eat a small quantity of those foods, of those refined starches, than eating a big plate of them and then reducing on the greens. So what we always try and encourage is a fist size of starch. If that's the only thing that you can afford is that specific type of starch, for example, mealie meal porridge or white rice, then we just keep it to a smallish portion more often in the day to get those nutrients in. By doing that, you actually stabilize your blood sugar and your hormones, which is very important. And then, you know, if beans is all you can afford, then that's a very good protein source compared to your meats and your chickens. Mackay chicken, absolutely great. Organic chicken, perfect. And then whatever vegetables you can really grow and afford to eat, as long as they have a bit of color to them. Yeah.
Doc, lastly, there's a point where they always talk about age group and the weight you're supposed to be having. Between the age of 25 to 35, apparently you shouldn't exceed 70 to 8 kg. How true is that? If I'm above 35 to 45, I shouldn't be above, for instance, 100 kg, all those information. How true is that? And the youth, especially for us, between the age of 25 to 38 or 36, that's where the youth age period. And yeah, in terms of your weight, how should you maintain the weight before we close the interview?
Well, so weight is very individual according to your height. So if you are 2 meters tall, you cannot weigh 70 kilos. You'll be super skinny, which unhealthy skinny. So it all depends on your BMI, what we call the body mass index. So we calculate that, and also what I do is I do an assessment on my scale, which I work out your muscle fat, muscle percentage, fat percentage, visceral fat, and we come up with a holistic target for your weight, individual weight. So definitely we cannot have a specific weight category for age group. It's impossible. The new healthy is the strong healthy, and muscles weigh a lot. So if you are strong and you're fit and you're weighing a lot, it's a lot better than someone who's not fit and has a low muscle mass and weighs less.
All right, so we get a chance to?
Yes, absolutely. We can test you out.
So
let's see.
Before I leave here, I will know if I'm overweighted or I'm supposed to increase my weight.
Your height is 1.82 meters. Okay, I'm just going to put your information into my scale. December, we're just putting your date of birth in, so we've got all the right information and the scale can work out exactly. How active are you? Are you very active?
Yeah, nicely.
How many times a week?
4.
4, perfect. We'll put that down as that. Okay, your height is 182. All right, so what we're going to do is, Fabrice, if you could just come this way around for me. Okay, I want you to step on the silver sections. And I want you to hold this like a bicycle. Put your hand over. Put your hand over. There you go. Put your fingers under. There we go. Perfect. Okay. So you're nearly on the triple digits, eh? Isn't that close? Okay, 99.1.
Mbogale, you're still watching Eswatini TV, Sikona Emavuso Trade Center, Kamanzini. We did say that we are broadcasting live. Mbogale, we are talking about health and wellness, a very, very important topic. It's a thing I serious no, it's a thing I nagi, cool and Fusnas Kumanga health and wellness, yes, the physical, Sikoshe, Kutila with the inner being, it is also very important. Sivilege, my guest for Akaza, Mutokabakona, Uskumtora, Utile with the inner person, with your spiritual life, it's very important. Right now, Mbogale Sinayesi, Babes Dumo, Umshandi, Kumanga Babes Dumo, Pumakona, a Minister of Health, so it's Kumisa Inzaba, Yayo COVID-19. Mshandi, thank you so much for being with us. Eshelweni, Namusha, Nomage, thank you for being with us. Namusha Guyo, Eswatini TV, Slapa Emavuso Trade Center. Sikungenanje ekhathi mhlawumbe mhlandi kukhuluma ngayo indzaba ye-COVID-19. Sikhuluma nje silana Emavuso Trade Center kuyo i-trade fair. There was a break because of COVID-19. Njengoba sesibuyile nyalo nga-2023. Nawubuka nje babe kuchaza ukuthi simaswati sibuya kuphi nasikhuluma ngayo i-COVID-19.
Siyabonga ukuthola lolu thuba lekuba semoyeni. Ngibingelele kuwe, ngibingelele nakubo babukeli. Njengoba sewuyendlalele nje indzaba. When we talk about COVID-19, sikhuluma ngesimo lesibene tiwombe letahlukahlukene. Le bunyendi bato letiwombe ngekwehlukana kwato. Tisitsinza ngetinhlangothi letehlukene njengoba sewushite nje ukuthi esikhatsini lesiningi kugula sikubuka physically. When we refer to the break ye COVID-19, inawo umthelela lositsinzile ngawuthi socially. There is a time la khona kuke kwaba ngilonge-share ukhanze ukuthi awusakhoni kuvakashela sihlobo sakho, awusakhoni kuya esibhedlela ngendlela lebe ungaya ngayo lula ngoba kuke kwaba khona la kuthiwa asingahambi khona, awusakhoni kuyovusela sihlobo sakho. Kwafika la khona nase sishonelwe singasakhoni kwenta timo letingilokulilelana nekufukama kuze kuyofika ekungcwabaneni ngalendlela yokuthi nyalo ke sesiyamvalelisa, nyalo ke sesenda simo lesitasenda sikhone kuyivala lendzaba. Kangangoba nasingakhuluma ngemathuna sinako nje ukuthi lithuna lasibani lela kodwa ngalo ukuthi bese singasathi hloli nekutihlola letidvumbu simo leso lengidawuthi emaswati siwatsinzile mentally, siwatsinzile socially. Nangena thina singemaswati siyalilelana kodwa kunebantwana le kuze kube nginamuhla labashonelwe batali labathethwe i-COVID. Abakalilelwa ngumuntu ngalokuthi siyayithi kubantwana abakhweshe sililelane sodwana. So sitsinzekile ngato tonke letinhlangothi. Satsinzeka engcondweni sesithinta natimo tekuthi kulahleke kwayona lemisebenzi. Njengoba silamavuso nje kunetinkampani letitokhangisa la le tisasukuma tivuka etintfulini la betiwiselwe khona ngile COVID. Kunetinhlangothi la mhlambe kunamabhizinisi lokhanza ukuthi ngama-soul traders, umuntu lotizamela koyedwana kodwa bantu bese kulukhuni kusonzela bathenge kuye ngendlela lebese bathenga ngayo isengakafiki i-COVID. So it has affected us in ngetindlela letehlukahlukene. Ngetulu ke kwalokuthi stouts nasiyibuka scientifically sibe nema-dates la khona na ungabuka lesigaba sale minyaka nasikhuluma nga-1,427 people labashone kuleso sigaba leso. Inombolo lenkulu leyo lena siyibuka silive silahlekelwe kakhulu. Ngingabeka kanjalo nje nangithi sibuya etimeni letimatima la khona kuke kwathiwa kugcwele etibhedlela, kugcwele ngendlela yokuthi lotholwa analesifo sekufuna kumiwe kucala kute ubukwa ukuthi ngaba nga-admithwa kuphi lekusimo lebese sethusa leso. Kodwa ke lala sesikhona khona nyalo njengoba nje sithi kuvuliwe sesine-show sesiyatenda cishe tonke letinto lebe tivalavalekile. Seyikhona lento lethi kukhona kushaya kwemoya umsakati nembukeli ekhaya.
Mhlandi lolokushoko kuchaza kona ukuthi COVID was not just umkhuhlane nje. ukuthi bekhwehlela abantu kwashintsha lokho but impilo debantu tishintshile njengoba uchaza ukuthi nemisebenzi ke labanye yaphela sikhuluma nje namuhla solo ukuthi imisebenzi emabhizinisi abantu avala abanye sikhuluma namuhla mhlawumbe impilo tabo tashintsha kakhulu mhlawumbe nyalo sikuphi babe njengoba sesichaza la ukuthi we are here today sisemavuzo trade center siyahlangana once again something that we all missed because bengasimnanzi kuvaleleka kwathi ukuthi angikhoni kuya kalikhele angikhoni kuya kuphi njengoba ushito ukuthi sijwayele kuvakaleshelana ekakhulu when you've lost someone that you love iclosure uyithwana ubona ukuthi nawe ngiyambona vele ushonile nangivele sengiyomgcwaba nali vele lithuna ungacocola indzaba kuthiwa sambeka kuphi so nasibuka ke nyalo as Eswatini sikuphi nyalo talking about 2023 and talking about COVID-19
njengoba soke wendlalela ekuthenini COVID was not just umkhuhlane nje bekungumkhuhlane yebo mane kunetinto letinyenti letitsinzekile lengidawutsi nyalo la sikhona khona sigcwele tintfuli tayo le COVID sisatsintsitsa letintfuli silitiko letemphilo singakuveta lokuthi asibuke lokuthi yini lesisitile ukuthi sisukumela tintfulini even though khona lokhanza ukuthi kusishaye kakhulu kuye le COVID ngitawutsinza ke indzaba ye COVID vaccine ukuthi sisesigabeni labe kufiwa khona kakhulu sisesigabeni labe kugulwa kakhulu khona kugqwale etibhedlela sisesigabeni la khona bekuthi na utestile kufanele uniketwe medication letawenda ukuthi ukhona kusimama kufike le vaccine yenda ke vaccine ukuthi kushaya umoya lokusenda ke sithi sisesigabeni la khona isewedile le vaccine kulesimo lesimatini phinze sithi mhlambe kutsinza lapha kulendzaba yama safety precautions indzaba yegeza tandla indzaba yekuchelelana yendele nokusebenzisa imask yende ukuthi singathelelani kakhulu lomkhuhlane lokwendeke abamancane lama new infections abamancane nama severe cases lokwenda ke ukuthi siqoqotele ukuthi sisesela siva kushaya umoya indlela lesihambako asente ngathi kube bengingabekisa ukuthi kube sibhidlita lamablo labuyela lemuva la sichamuka khona manje sishone embili ngendlela yokuthi babe banenge lalabajovako ngoba ngikubeka kubufakazi lokuthi insita nayifika le COVID vaccine saqala kubona kuncipha kwekadmithwa kwebantu saqala kubona kuncipha kwekushona kwalabantu so sisesigabeni la sigcugcutela khona ke ukuthi sisakhomba tinshwana lesitibona tibufakazi bekuphuma la nkingeni asimane phela labo labasengakajovi ngoba nangingabekisa ngekuthi nje umuntu ukhona loticabanga ukuthi hayi kujova labadzala mina ngemncane usho una 38 years lotawukhanza ukuthi 2 years down the line so una 40 years nje uthi semdzala utawukhanza sinakasolo anale ngcondo yokuthi hayi mina angijovi ngoba ngisemusha ifike le COVID ukhanze ukuthi seyisibangela inkinga kuye so sikuleso sigaba la siva ngathi kushaya umoya khona siyaqoqotela lokuthi COVID is not gone isesekhona siyaqhubeka nekubahlola abantu ukuthi bete ine COVID siyaqhubeka nekufundzisa ukuthi COVID yenda njani nayifike emtimbeni timpawu tiba njani yini taba lesingadena so sikuleso sigaba la sitawuthi khona siqoqotele emaswati ukuthi maye besiselubishini sicela ukuthi singabuyeli lelibishini mane sifuqane sonke sibhekela ngathi kungcono khona umsakati nembukele ekhaya
mhlawumbe uyayichaza indzaba ukuthi isibalo sabasiningi sebantu labajovako noma ke isibalo sancipha futhi kulaba labathola i-COVID-19 nasekufika i-vaccine but ngiyalo kutilungiselela the future singenda njani kufundisa emaswati because there are certain people labasabako nanamuhla na 2023 kujova because of certain things that they've seen yendeka kubantu ngeke sithi ngilomjovo ngeke sithi yini but they have fear ukuthi what if I do it and something goes wrong sengijovile because sibantu timo tetfu tempilo atifanani lomunye mhlawumbe ngamphatha ngendlela ethile lomunye imphatha in a different way. So what are you doing? What is the Ministry of Health doing now this time around to educate us and to make sure ukuthi in as much as you have this certain sickness, you can still vaccinate? Are we having that classes where we can actually educate the people, ikakhulu bantu labasemaphandleni emakhaya, not only emadolobheni?
Sibonge kakhulu umsakathi nakuye umbukeli. Silitiko letempilo sikhona etinhlangothini letehlukene nangayibeka ngama community levels. La emitholampilo sinanakule sithi ngama health talks lokuthi njalo leti 70 tetempilo tibafundzise labantu labetile kuloyo mtholampilo. Avamisa kuba khona ekseni lama health talks nasitawuqala kusebenza. Phinze kusaqhubeka lusuku sisebenzise tempilo sibuke lokuthi banganani abantu lababonakala basanza kufika bese uyakhetha ke leso sihloko lekasikhetha ukuthi besingaba lusito kulabantu letinye taletihloko ngoba ngito letitsintsana nayo iCovid. Siphinze sibe nelibandla lesithi health promotions team lekhonako kuhamba la mimangweni kunanakule sithi ngama community engagement activities. So kuletinto lesiyaye sitende kuleyo mimango ayisali lendzaba yaka COVID. Siphinze sibe nelibandla lesithi schools health team labahamba latikolweni. So kuhamba kwabo latikolweni kulamalanga bekuhambisana nekujova wona lo mjovo we-COVID vaccine kuphinze kube ngiko lokufundzisa njengoba ushito nje sibantu sehlukene vele ukhona lotawuma emuva endele kubona ukuthi ngabe basitakala bafika phi la bathatha lolusito athi angabona ke ukuthi cha kude tingcinamba labahlangana nato noma tinsayiya letitholakala basathola lolusito bese ke uyasonzela sila sikhona khona nje koko kwabanana kule sithi ngama myths and misconceptions lokhanza ukuthi bekwenta labantu labanengi besabe sakhona ke kuleti ngcingwana lengitishoko kufundzisa nekucucutela emaswati ukuthi awuthathe lo mjovo base baba khona ke labasonzelayo sisachubeka ke nekwenta lokho njengalo ukhulumile nasisaqala nje ukuthi sila eMavuso Trade Center sina pavilion 4 la khona litiko letempilo likanekse khona singacucutela nje maswati kusakasonzela likhona litafula lelikhuluma tindzaba taka COVID lelicucutelako leliphendula imibuto leliniketa konke lokungenda emaswati abone ukuthi COVID isekhona letinkhulumo letibhebhetela ukuthi bantu besabe siyaticatulula sisese kulelo tafula phinze nala misakatweni njengoba namhlanje sila siyaye silithole lithuba kubo kusile breakfast show sikhulume nemaswati letindzaba letinjengaleti lesitikhuluma namuhla le sicucutela lokuthi la abuthene khona emaswati akasimeme sisonzele ngaba kusesontweni ngaba kusemcimbini lonebantu labanyendana loyo muntu lo organizer leyo mcimbi akaphakamise sandla kithi singe health promotion sisonzele sitocatulula tinkinga letitsinzana nekwesaba kujova msakati.
Mhlawumbe silosikhuluma ngayo indzaba yekwesaba ingabe kukhona yini mhlawumbe ema cases lapho khona kwafika umuntu uthite noma abantu labathite nabona ukuthi cha namhlanje sikhona ukujova because your situation doesn't allow us to go ahead sikujove buyele ekhaya uphinze ubuye njengoba sichazile ukuthi lesensikhathi sona umuntu ama chronic disease noma uthatha
Dinso tethu divikelwa ngekuthi kweqala kumcuka ukuthi sitipopole sivakashele emtholampilo siyithanze emtholampilo
bona emathuba lendekile kufike umuntu ngoba kubana nakule sithi screening before umuntu ajove la khona siqale sihlole kwekuthi ukule minyaka lelungele ukujova yini ngoba utawukhumbula umbukeli ukuthi siqala ku12 years kuya eTulu ngekwehlukana kwale mijovo sisenda le screening ke sibuta kugula lanako lokungenda ukuthi kufanele sibe sesimeni lesikahle ukuthi uphilile ngalelo langa ukuthi angajova sibute ukuthi uke wajova eniphambilini imijovo waba nathi inkinga emtimbeni lebetingahambisana nako ukuthi ujovile noma kungasilo umjovo we-COVID. Sihlole sitenetise lokuthi usesimeni lesikahle. So sisenda le screening. Kuba khona la sivele sibone khona ukuthi cha lo uphilile mane uyesaba. Sisakhulumisana ke sezame lokumenda abe at ease nangakubeka ngelwimi lokweboleko. Nakakhona ke lokugcina at ease athi cha ngingajova ngoba sesetamile kumeluleka sakhweshisa konke lokungaba into lebetimenda esabe. Kodwa nangabe soloti khona ngalelo langa uyakhululeka lo muntu ukuthi cha ase uhamba utawuphinza ubuye uthole lithuba ubuye ukhanze ukuthi labo lebekanabo kuleli butho lebekanalo. So benda sigaba sekubuka ngabo ukuthi yini nenijovile kuniphethe njani nabamchazela ke bese uyasonzela lokuthi cha angisale ngibuya ngafika ngalelinye ilanga ngesaba kakhulu kodwa ke laba lebengihamba nabo bangikhuthata ukuthi angichubeke ngijove. Kafishane emsakati akhona emathuba lendekile ebantu lokhanza ukuthi abakajovi ngelanga bebafike batojova ngalo ngenza bayikwesaba bese bayabuya ke bate ujova. Labanye basengakabuyi etindzaweni ngekwehlukana kodwa sinelithemba lokuthi basasonzela kubeluleki betempilo nebeluleki betengcondo batawugcina bajovile nabo. Sichubeke sibe nabantu labanengi lesitawuthi umjovo ubasekele nyalo ngekwenta emasotsha emtimbeni alungele ukuthi nakungendeka ligciwane lemkhuhlane we-COVID lifike lingefiki lo muntu limcinzetele kakhulu.
Mhlandi ukhuluma indzaba lenye nyalo uthi na wendeka lo mkhuhlane ubuya ungikhanze sengijovile ngitokhona kuba safer. Coming to that, as Eswatini, what does the future look like? Nasikhuluma ngayo i-COVID-19.
Ngidawuthi i-future isetandleni tethu singemaswati. Ngekufisa kwethu nekubuka kwethu sibona emaswati asesigabeni sekuphepha nasi nekuthi emasotsha lagijima emtimbeni sekanako ukuthi nalingena leligciwane lemkhuhlane we-COVID litawufike lingakhi isimo lesitawuthi sikwembula kwembeso. So sibona ke kungathi kungaba ngcono na kungaba sesigabeni se-wave lenkulu nasinemaswati lamanengi latabe ajovile. Ingaba likusasa lelingcono nabangaba banengi lalabajovako kutothi na ngoba besihamba ngama-waves ukhanze ukuthi leyo wave iyakha umdumo lomkhulu ukhanze ukuthi banengi bantu lesebagcwele etibhedlela noma banengi bantu labashonako kungete kwaba simo lesibi nasijove saba banengi but kule percentage lesikuyo ngekujova nyalo kubonakala kungaba semkhatsini wesimo lesibi nesimo lesingaba ngcono. Lekungaba ukuthi ke maye kungaba kumema sive lokuthi asichubeke phela nakavela lamathuba ekujova ngoba namuhla nje lo ngihleli la ngemdzala kunayitolo kusasa ngidabe ngemdzala kunanamuhla nangabe sikubuka ke ngetimo letenteka ngekukhula kwethu siba semathubeni lamabi ezisichubeka sibabadzala nasibhekana netimo letikugula. So kunebantu labasolo bona beme esigabeni sekuthi thina sibasha ngeke sibe nenkinga kakhulu nasibhekana nalomkhuhlane kanti bayachubeka nabo bayakhula. Lokwenta ke ukuthi singakhuluma ngefuture namuhla ukhanze ukuthi kuleli viki lelitako le ndlela besikhuluma ngayo seyehlukile sekungaba ukuthi sisaya kule future asitincwadzise ngekuthi sichubeke nalama safety precautions ngoba kusengagagulwa ukuthi lo mkhuhlane sekude siphindze sisachubeka nalama safety precautions sichubeke sijove sendele ukuthi nasibona ungathi bekungaba ngcono na ubuya lo mkhuhlane sibe sisetmeni letithi konke lokufanele sikwende sikwendile sime kahle.
Siyabonga kakhulu babe sidumo likhele siyabonga Mhlandi for educating us nokusikhumbuza abumcoka bekujova ngoba labanye mhlawumbe sebacabanga sokudlulile konke salosiyekela singasayi kuyojova kanti kumcoka nje usho ukuthi le percentage abantu labajovako noma labajovile kufanele inyuke just in case something else happens ithole emaswati aphephile. Siyabonga kakhulu isikhathi sakho baba.
Sibonge kakhulu ukuthola leli thuba sigcugcutele emaswati ukuthi asivakashele kupavilion lesikuyo atothola lwati lolunenge lolutsintsana nato tempilo in general lokufaka ekhathi yona lendzaba yaka COVID. Siyabonga kakhulu msakade.
Mhlanga Bokele solo sikhona amavuso trade center kaManzini. We broadcasting live sikhuluma indzaba lemcoka kakhulu wellness and health. Namhlanje ke besikhulumisa indzaba yayo iCovid-19 ukuthi sibuya kuphi silive nokuthi sitotbona kuphi especially nangabe sichubeka sifundisa noma ke senda imvo lemcoka kakhulu indzaba yako kujova kutivikela ngoba mbukeli kumcwalo sisonke sijove so that sitawuphepha just in case anything happens. Sisemavuso trade center Bokele kaManzini ngethemba ukuthi solo yakufotela ufunza lokuninga lokho lesikuphathelana namuhla kuyo eSwatini TV.
Tinso tethu tivikelwa ngekuthi kwekuqala kumcoka ukuthi sitipopole sivakashele emtholampilo siyithanze emtholampilo upopola nje uye ungaguli ungumuntu kuyohlola ukuthi ingabe umtimba wakho usasebenza kahle yini lokungenani kabili ngeminyaka utipopola kuphindze futhi ushukumisa umtimba nako kumcoka siphindze futhi sibuke tifo lesitibalile once watholakala ukuthi sonato letifo leti bo HIV bo hypertension bo shukela diabetes mellitus nako lokho waba nako vakashela emtholampilo landzelela kubodokotela ukuthi bathi delaphe kanjani kutawusita ukuthi ugcine uvikele kutholakala ukuthi tinsa takho setilimele nempilo ke kutiphatha nje nako kumcoka ngoba ukhanza ukuthi bantfu bayathanza ukuthi bese batifaka etitsakamiveni ekusebenziseni titsakamiva lokufaka ekhathi tshwala namagwayi donke tinhlobo tetitsakamiva so kumcoka ukuthi ungumuntu utipopole emtholampilo kuvikela tinso takho.
Ubusebiyelele wena mswati wabusa phambi kwetitha wasuyathi ndlula wasuyahlamba wasuyashashabula uyimbubu ngwenyama ngumkhokho yabalekela udle ematholo ezinyathi wena waphakathi ethi
Umnyaka wa-2023 ngumnyaka lomkhulu eSwatini njengoba live lihalekisela ingwenyama yenkosi Mswati wesithathu iminyaka lengama-55 yatalwa lehlanganiswe negubha iminyaka lengama-55 live latfola amazibuse. Ucamisa lo mkhosi lomkhulu welive umsakazo weSwatini TV umemasive ukuthi sibukele tinhlelo elikhombisa imisebenzi yentuthuko yelive leyasukunyiswa yaphinze yasekelwa silo inkosi Mswati wesithathu lesolo isimamise live nalomuhla. Inhlelo tingena njalo ngelisonto ngensimbi yesine entsambama. Halala mbangazitha, halala eSwatini.
Uhuru Garden Ilana Egma Kolo Kolo, just off the MR3. It is a space for everyone to come and empower themselves. Like now and Janabe Kona Logwakago, Noma Ofuna Funza, Noma Kalo Funagu contributor. Because at the end of the day, why did Martin Luther do it better? Because Beba Kona Gutiba Shangan. Sikona Gagu social media, if in Funaglanzela ma pages Sikona as rooted organics, Naben Funak Funza Timber about permaculture. You can follow us. If you want to learn more about the Uhuru Pop-Up Concept Africa, you can follow our pages, because so long as you are creating, have a want to create, or you want to support people who are creating, that is the space that you are there. And we also have our Sunrise Academy Africa pages, where we are unlearning to relearn, because we know all of these important things. So nistfola kona kona la, nistfola kona glama social media pages etfu, and also by coming to bring your value adding activity to our garden. Why? Because it's funaguti wonge mumvu sisebenzisana, but you must maintain autonomy, because each and inglona gaitato pushela ngelmasela.
Hello, Sanbonan. This is Ndombini from Kusasa Rising, our NGO and affiliate company to Rooted Organics and Uhuru Garden. Now I'd just like to introduce you guys to our concept, La Uhuru Garden, where we practice permaculture principles in trying to feed a small base for now, but hopefully grow it further. So in our permaculture works, our first point of access is water, first of all. Water. You cannot do permaculture without the water, and we want to use whatever resource is possible to us to harvest, collect water, store and save water, just to make sure that there's enough water in the soil for our crops. From our water, our second criterion is compost. What are we going to use to feed the soil? So many practices use chickens or livestock for that. We're a bit close to town. We had tried the chickens, and unfortunately our security wasn't tight enough, so we're in between chickens, but we're using smarter ways of creating more fertilizer and to build pesticides without the reliance on chemical and store-bought chemicals and herbicides and stuff. Our biggest achievement was having to waka Iswail, which slows down the water. We do get a lot of rainfall as we are in the high veld, Lambabane, Eswatini. Iswail is basically a trench, a level trench you'll dig to slow down the movement of water, and thus increasing the water holding capacity of your soil, your lower soil. So scientists predict you have an 8 to 12 meter increment in surface water growth for your soil, ngegwaka iswale. From the swales, once you've managed your water and your pesticides and herbicides, we get into the plants. Permaculture, we don't do the monoculture. Solo permaculture, let me just quickly touch permaculture. What's in permaculture? Permaculture is permanent agriculture. So instead of ufuna kucula umhlaba every season, njalo ebusika udawenza treatments ite uzama kuhlanyela ukuthi lo msebenzi wakho energy yakho on the soil or sebenza lo mhlabathi ube mncane as possible.
Thank you for having us here. Can you please introduce yourself to our viewers, what your name is and what is it that you do around here?
Okay, so sanibonani, sijabule kakhulu nani ukuthi nisivakashele namuhla. We're always so happy to spread messages about food security, about creating living systems. I'm Cindy Katwane Ndombini, and this is our Uhuru Garden. Uhuru means freedom, so we are emancipating Africa. And we do believe that the solutions for food security can come through from the kingdom of Eswatini.
Through Uhuru Gardens?
Yes, because we are so passionate about imparting knowledge, education, because we have to unlearn, to relearn that which we already knew. Because we had to sihlale sithi nyalo sekufanele sibuyele le ndlela besenza tinto ngayo.
All right. That's awesome. I'm sure somebody's already getting the grip. But
Yes.
So just tell us more about the Uhuru Garden. What is it all about? What's the vision behind it? And what exactly are you doing at the Uhuru Garden?
I am so happy that you touched on vision, because Uhuru Garden is actually a product of our Gusasa Rising Living Systems NGO. We are actually so honored and privileged to be rolling out a grant funding, which is called the Global Empowerment Fund. We are sponsored by the United Nations Development Program. And this sees us continue the amazing work that we started doing in 2020 in our communities. Because remember, when everyone and the world was closing down, we were like, okay, nathi sistohlala kanti siyati ukuthi kukhona timvo lesingadenda mane silethe thina. So mine, my role kuGusasa Rising Foundation is to catalyze change. So I'm a maximizer, I'm a connector, I'm an inputter. So we facilitate a collaborative spirit among eMaswati because leskwati ukuthi vele siyakha timvo futhi naletimvo lestikhutsatako ngaletimvo lesitifundzisako through Gusasa Rising ngetimvo vesivele stenda. So I had mentioned to you ukuthi sisebenta nema communities. So sisebenta na 7 communities la Eswatini, one in South Africa, as well as one in Mozambique. Okay, but why can busy across the border? But unless we are all actively working together and everyone is contributing to the economy, then ngegas ngobe hunger, and hunger is the root cause of crime. So okay, so here we are as Gusasa Rising Foundation. We have the space here, which is our Uhuru Garden. Uhuru means freedom, where we want people to emancipate themselves through what they are able to create with what's abundantly available. So one of our products offerings here, which we produce from our permaculture garden, is actually using umsutan.
Of course.
Umsutan sale sathi ukuthi labanye bathanyela ngawo onasemingcwabeni siyakhona kuyisebenzisa nasibuya, but it's also known as the fever tea. It's also known as Lipia javanica, which is its botanical name, and it has immense wellness abilities. So through the communities, we started off in 2020 when the world was locking down, and we were like, okay, what can we do? So at that time, Bisgadarisha Siba 25, because that was the maximum that you could get. And because it's a curriculum that is centered around nature, golf and arts, and bavilebo mncedisi na Jay bakhuluma nathi basichazela kabanti ukuthi le permaculture garden isebenta kanjani, iproducer kanjani, ikhutsata ini. And then futhi lokunye permaculture principles, because we are creating permanent culture, which means we are creating living systems. So through this grant funding that we have through the UNDP, we are going to all of these communities, Lalai 7, Bayetangalana. We learn by practically doing things. Remember now, permaculture has 12 principles that talk about zero waste, integrate, don't segregate, learn and design from nature. So these are the things with Velestenda. Like if you look at our living system structure in the Kingdom of Eswatini, vele kunema homesteads. Yat kutsi ku homestead kuba nale ndawo lapho simithela khona, lidlala khona, and lapho silala khona. Back in the day besiba nabo guca standards sathi kutsi nomalina nomaliduma lapho sihlanganela khona. And indigenous knowledge is passed on because angithi lapho sesihleli yabo nabogogo bethu kwasuka sukela, and nyalo sisho kona kutsi kwasuka sukela. Once upon a time at Uhuru Garden, we reminded people of how they were producing, of how they were creating, and how we are essentially all co-creators. So tinenas funzisa, we use self-awareness. Who am I in all of this? Njengoba siyabona umhlaba uyashintsha and vele usatoqhubeka ushintsha, sibonile nangalesihlanu bekuhusha umoya lo Martina. Letimvo leto akufanele ukuthi bese setiyasifusa, afanele tisikhumbute ukuthi uyathi ukuthi umhlaba size nasingawunakekeli. These are the consequences of what happens. But there are certain measures lesikhona kuwafaka njengabe yachaza mncedisi babe Ntombini ukuthi la ku permaculture sine soil lapha sinema water harvesting measures esiwafakile nyalo i-El Nino iyeta itoshintsha tinto, so sitogcina sesidla ini. So in our curriculum sifundzisa self-awareness. Who am I? I am connected to God. I am of the divine source of love and light. So yonke info ibuyela kuloko njenga Jay bekasichazela ukuthi naloko ematshe loko siyakhona ukusebenzisa because these are minerals like qhamuka khona emhlabeni. We are different types of life forms. So it's just that in Uhuru Permaculture Garden, we promote a lot of the plant life as our fundamental aspect of getting out into communities. So back to those 7 communities I'm talking about, we're like, okay, how do we impart skills? So ngithatha njani ukuthi muvu ngimfundise into lakato khona kuyisebenzisa kusasa adinakekele create umnotho for umsebenzi wakhe, I mean for ikhaya lakhe. Angithi ku homesteading ngiyabonakala ukuthi khona abaphuma ko bahambe bayotfota, khona bayolanza imandi, khona labaphekako yabo. So nathi si creator the exact system, so whatever they learn here at Uhuru Permaculture Garden, they have to implement in their various communities.
Places.
So we are working through the chiefs, we are working through the chairmen to say, who are your 2 people that have been allocated. So Nxusa Lefu is our project manager. Nxusa Leta nalo nalega sebenda nalo bayafunza, they go back and they implement. What happens? We are catalyzing a system. When they get back to the community, they must teach 10. So each one teach 10. So in a short space of time, more people are empowered.
Wow.
And then I would like to then take you through what it is that we have created, because we believe Gutsi, in order for us to be in the communities, in our communities, nathi fanele silide ngale squad ukuthi okay logo sesikwendile saktesta siyakubona and futhi kuyasebenta, because through yona le Uhuru, because Uhuru is our access to market platform. So we create business linkages. So yes, we create products for this to service this market, but our ultimate goal is to service the world, because we have to be absolute global contenders. So we already know Gutsi, the vegan market is a very big market, and we're like, how? But Muslim
Yeah.
But for us to get to that point, we had to nurture it. So okay, it's rooted organics. Rooted organics wakatonge na timbo nat. Nastakas waguti gunan langatin yet fu sendanjan gutsi, all of these things must have a longer shelf life. And then sabwaguti, okay, but logwaka, and then it's kutate bam gutsi bake asbashin in when. So then how do we encourage people to come from an empowered place? So that's why we have our Sunrise Academy, which Jay touched on. So we use nature, which is our permaculture setup, because through nature you can learn so much of yourself, because we are always trying to stay in alignment. Through golf, golf is an endurance sport, but what it does is it brings you to self-awareness. Earlier on I heard a question being asked, self-awareness. If I don't have self-awareness, if I am not in the sweet present moment or sweet spot of the present moment, then how will I know? So JB akhuluma ngekuthi kunema 7 hearts, 7 energy centers. So I say those 7 energy centers ngiyo lala ukuthi nabe uvalivalo utoliva la ngaphasi kwengaba utoliva la ngetulo, nabe uva imvo ikujabulisa utoyivala enhlitiyweni noma nakuphula inhlitiyo utoyivala. Na ungakhoni ku expressa ukhanza ke ukuthi uthola I dis-ease, siye sithi kugula ke lokho. Ukuthi ukhanze ukuthi awukakhoni ukuthi ichaza ngaleyo ndlela, o noma udichazile but uva ngathi awukaviwa. So ukhanze ukuthi sonemkhuhlane noma nema tonsils noma unani, and then we have one la leba just between our eyes, and then ngiyo ke le yenta ukuthi anti siyathi vele ukuthi bayashisa impepho njalo kunje kukwasamphepho yabona kulikhuni, but lokho kwentela ukuthi nakubunyibunyisa kufanele ukuthi ukhumule ecatfulo uhambe barefooted like on the ground, because angithi sifuna ukuthi nasi connector to the ground sibuyele ku zero balance. Siyakhuluma ngako nje ukuthi nabo electromagnetic. So the ground is our magnetic, our sun is the electrode. So basically what we are doing here at our permaculture garden and through the work that we do through Sunrise Academy is enforcing that. So he's saying, how do you stay away from dis-ease? You must know your body. How do you know your body? You must stay in the presence awareness of yourself, because then you'll be able to say, I have a pain here, you know. So what we say is like, okay, if I have a pain in my throat, I can use my msutani. My msutani is going to clear all of these things. But what is the fundamental point? Am I eating right? You know, naga pega ngedisi. Ngoba uhlanyela yena harvest yena, and then aphinze apheke yabo process apheke njalo kunje kuyi sauerkraut, like it's cabbage and carrots, but sauerkraut is actually really good for assisting you to get the acid pH levels in your body
All right.
to the right extent. Because the more we are stressed, the more things are changing. We have financial stress, we have all of these stresses, but even our environment is stressed. Yabo. So those things cause disease in us. So we get like a lot of acid. If you are not eating right, maybe natsa kakhulu or ngidla inyama kakhulu nyabona nyalo kulamalanga, like uyibone ngale tifo le bese siyabonga ukuthi okay, this is what's happening. So how do you return yourself to balance?
Yes.
You use mind, body and soul products. So for instance, if we are using our tea tree hydrosol, which we process from the garden, so sebenzisa a copper distiller, which is like a massive column where you take your herbs, you put them through that. It's a whole science experiment. Kuphuma lamandi lawa or bese sekphuma essential oil. Essential oils are really, really great because now they help us with our healing. And remember when I was talking about disease then settles in. So if I have a throat problem, I can gargle with my umsutani, or I can obviously relieve myself with my lavender because now I am stressed, and my lavender hydrosol promotes sleep, it promotes relaxation. So a lot of people are like, oh, I can't spray on my face. But what it does is that as I spray myself, I am naturally inhaling. But nabe awukoni, you can use it around your body or as an aura spray.
All right, I have a quick question. All right, so now as we're going through these products, I'm just asking myself that as far as health and wellness is concerned, because I think that is where we're touching right now. Maybe let's take it from the garden. How is it important for us to actually be growing our own food so that we can reach a space whereby promote health and wellness here as we are explaining these products? What can you say about that briefly?
Wonderful. I'm so sorry because I get so passionate about what I'm talking
I can tell. I can tell.
You just because we want people to like really change the mindset. So from a permaculture garden, remember what we talked about is that disease is something that just comes to us because it's a part of us. So we have 12 permaculture principles. Those permaculture principles say that my kitchen garden must be relatively closer to where my subsistence is going to come from. And then so we looked at it and we're like, okay, but you know, as we produce these things, how do we give them more of a shelf life? So, for instance, we have our culinary salts. So this one's made of the same herb that you are seeing there, which is the thyme herb. Yes. We also have the thyme herb in these like form, like where it's a dried tea. Because remember, tea thyme is really good for like if you have like a chesty flu or like or bronchitis. So then we obviously look to see what are our other combination. Oregano is a herb that we grow in the garden. We have our garlic salt, we have our chili salt. So these are all of the combinations because these things, and they use our natural salts. We also were then showing from what you get from the garden, which also grows in abundance. So we get it through our communities that we are working with. We're able to package it into these kind of tea bags where you are able to steep your tea in water, or we have them in the hydrosol format, or we have it in a shot, health shot. Obviously prevention is better than cure. I did an experiment. I didn't take anything, and within 5 days we're saying right.
Wow.
So the other form is if we process our things into sauces and stuff, but this one I would really love to tell you about because these are our cold pressed cooking oils.
Okay, not this one.
No, that's also this is pumpkin. Like I went to the markets lapha ngathenga actual pumpkin seeds. Ngathenga na begilanga. What's the other one? I'll remember. But this one, pumpkin seeds, because you know the cooking oil is it folago in shops. Usuke nje gold this German guy that I got the cold press. So I like how they clean like it's supposed to look this kind of murky color. So this is our sunflower oil. So what happens is but they press lo oil out of lo begilanga and then they put it through some sludge process but chemicals even clearer than emandi. Gold by but okay, this is the cooking oil for me. But so pumile. Whereas tine, here we cold press it. So next time you guys come through, we'll take you through all of our processing measures, from how we've created appropriate technologies to dry the teas that DC makes these culinary dried salts from, how he makes all of these teas from. So my focus is on making oils, because in the communities, that is how we plan on generating income. But
it's somewhere under the origin in a place called Makolokolo. So you just get the experience from what were being explained from that insight. Otherwise, we're still live here, Eswatini TV, bringing you the 2023 International Trade Fair, where, like we said earlier on this morning, to say we all about meeting you at the point of your need. Now, since the morning, we've been talking about issues relating to health, and we've been talking about issues that are also in line with how Eswatini TV, has been doing the International Trade Fair for the past 23 years, and we've been just giving you some insights, all those people in life, trying to encourage wellness in everything that has to do with health. It's a Sunday, you're from church, wherever you're from, you're just sitting in the comfort of your seat at home, you're wondering, Eswatini TV, what's happening? We are live. This is the Trade Fair, the 2023. Now, I'm once again joined by Sabelo Mlambo. Sabelo Mlambo, earlier on, we were talking about the issue of circumcision, where we highlighted, important aspect of why we need to be circumcised, why is it urgent, and how is it done, the process. We will touch on the benefits as well. He did touch on the benefits in terms of, generally how it does help you to avoid or reduce chances of attracting HIV and other sicknesses. But now there have been also a lot of misconception. Emaswati thinking, when I do this, to be back to my usual self, and other benefits. Sabir, once again, live here at Eswatini Trade Fair. Circumcision, mere circumcision. But when I do the mere circumcision, yes, you will touch on the benefits later on, but the healing process, it's always a problem. For those who are officially allowed, like a married person, you might do the circumcision, but when are you back to yourself? You can proceed. When do you get back to your normal self?
Angibonga msakade ngiphindze ngivusele eMaswatini. Mhlambe umuntu angacala ngokusho ukuthi nangabe sowushadile asikubeke kanjalo ukuthi sowunamaka kwakho. Into lesiyaye sicele kwecala nje ukuthi na udala ngakithi uTosoka kufuneka nikhulumisane nalomake nivumelane athi naye ukuthi kula kutaba nemalanga isikhathi lesingaka inkonzo ingakibe khona ekhaya. Sike la kupholeni kuthatha isikhathi esinganga 6 weeks. Lokusho ukuthi nje kuleli viki lekucala naleli lesibili ngilaqala khona ukuthi naqala kuwakho leti tishi lesifakile ngoba leti tishi iyathi phumela akusho ukuthi uphinza ubuye esibhedlela totikhokha. Then bese soma ke another 4 weeks after that la kutasithi khona utabu sopholile complete
inyanga yonke nje
shothi nje inyanga yonke nemaviki lamabili lapho sitabe sopholile ngingakho sithi kumcoka lokuthi ukhulumisane naye lo lothandzana naye ukuthi atowati ukuthi akubambise lakuthenini uphole.
Mlambo tasicabanisa nabo make 4 weeks without inkonzo ekhaya sekunenkinga lapho. Yes, ngiyakuva, but explaining that point, ngiyathi ukuthi as a ministry, as Tipedlela, you've had instances where now people don't wait for the 6 weeks, but ikanze bashayele inkonzo prior to the 6 weeks. What happens? What are the dangers?
Okay, bungoti bala ukuthi kunokwenteka ukhanze ukuthi sobese soyadithunuka lekufuna uphinze ubuye kithi ukhanze ukuthi sesiphindze sesicalela phansi futhi sesifaka leti tishi kabusha sokuphinze kufanele uphinze uma 6 weeks ukhanze ukuthi umuntu ubeka sak 3 weeks atibone ngathi sopholile ngoba vele utasina ubuka la ngephandle la outer part of it utakubona ngathi hayi sekupholile, but the inner part isuke ingakapholi nale skin suke singakaqini kahle, so utawubese uthi uyenkonzweni utithunuka naso tithunukileke vele kude kasi ngathi siphindze sikustishe kabusha bese sekuphinze soma lo 6 weeks. So kukahle lokuthi vele uyilandzelele lemithetho lesekunikete yona ukuze ukuthi utowati ukuthi ume nje inyanga namaviki lamabili kuphela.
Quite impressive, because nanguva kahle Mlambo, one aspect that is very key is that when you feel yourself ready after 3 weeks, chances of actually now ukuthi inkonzo ngayithola for the longest time are higher because now utabwele esibhedlela bakutshele ukuthi nyalo you have to wait for the 6 weeks, and then in other words kusho ukuthi lo mkakho ufuna amele for 9 weeks nyalo because
Exactly.
we were waiting for three weeks, now we add 6 weeks, now it's 9 weeks, which is 3 months with that inkonzo, which has some of the risks. Now we've also talked about, you know, the general truth to say issues of HIV and everything, but hygienically it is important to circumcise. It's clean. Umuntu circumcised, it's more cleaner than umuntu angasi circumcised. It's another misconception. How true is that?
Yes, it's true. Lokuthi nangabe so circumcised uba clean. We know that the guys labanelijwabu, they will say nangabe ayogeza kufuneka alivule so that ato cleaner the inner part of indvuku yakhe. So lokho kungcola lokho kuyingoti nakuloma nakumuntu wesifazane because kune probably ngaba ne bacteria le HPV lengagcine imbangela emathuba omdlavuza wemlomo wesibeletho lo mali. So lokho kungcola lokho nasosokile kuba bede ngoba the inner part because isuka sayingephandle, so ihlala ihlandekile ngaso sonke isikhathi such that nomugeza ugeza lula akubi nalobulukhuni bokuthi kufuneka uvule uphinde uvala.
Now angathi Sabelo ndayibeka kanjani without you know, touching nerves. We know because it's during the day, Sabelo bamfana bayibukela TV, so we have to mind the language at some point. There's another misconception. Nangu babe Sabelo social tele namngakho. So wafika endlini wayitheka lenzaba ukuthi cha maki yathi kumcwa ukuthi nami I should come out there and circumcise. Athi lo mngakho ukuthi no. Ngeva bathi the circumcision reduces the package, the size and the length of the package. And bese umuntu aphuma kule ngcomvo leyo ukuthi hey ngeke ngikwende lokho bathi hey bese package yami bese ayisabe ngalendlela bekiyo phambilini. And that's why I say I don't know how to put it so that ngavakale kabe, because we're being washed by anyone. So we need to monitor how we express this. How true is that ukuthi the circumcision vele iyayitsinza indzaba yokuthi the package lobohamba nayo personally lo nayo ayisafane ngalendlela bekiyo, and does it affect your inkonzo yakho personally as a man? Because naloko kufanele sikusize, because a lot of people have not adopted themselves to say I want to do the circumcision because of that belief.
No, ngiyabonga Msakati. The funny thing is that yesterday I was just getting a call of one of the people who are circumcised who has this misconception of the size of his package is reduced because so circumcised. One of the things that ngatisho ukuthi we're not now circumcised, the package remains the same, remains the same length. It's not reduced in any way. And in terms of its performance, it continues to perform the way basically performing or even better. The reason I'm saying that is because there are people probably Lokanza would see takes up the service, knowing very well would see his performance is no longer there. I figure lana abenalo would see probably it will improve. If circumcision won't improve the performance. At the same time, nangabe the performance may go at the higher level or at the highest performance, angeke easy to say. There are chances I would see probably ibe prolonged, especially nangabe out the issues of early ejaculation. There are chances of seeing about prolonged. But the reason I'm saying chances because he has got an issue that in general he has got a problem of early ejaculation. So then if at the analogue issue layer, we then need to have that person see the men's health department to such that sotagala with it, and again the circumcision will enhance. But in terms of reducing the size, we don't reduce the size, and it remains the same.
Perfectly well executed, Mlam. And then I think still on that, because sikulmega benefits, health, clean, HIV, and we're getting to the critical part, which I think men, especially Eswatini men, they're avoiding this issue because of what we're talking about. But now, do you have instances, maybe from your clients, where you can tell us now in a personal capacity to say, ingonzo prior to circumcision and ingonzo after circumcision? Can someone stand and say the benefits even are better when you're circumcised prior to when you are not circumcised?
Okay, yes, I think it's, we always get testimonials from people about circumcision, from both the females and the males. Kuba khona ema-females la velako athi uyati my man is circumcised, and now I'm seeing my man nangabe besithe siyasuka nje la siyembabane. Previously bekafika emvutshini ukhanza athi sokhathele, but right now
I like your example, yes.
usuka la sifike embabane endlule athi I know usajike emotshani. I hope you understand and nemlaleli probably uyangiva ukuthi ngikubeka kanjani. So we've seen those, we've received those testimonials from females. At the same time, even from the males, who are getting the very same testimonials. Abakhona lama negatives, obviously. A person coming in and saying like, ngasoka, but I'm no longer the same. Logo siyaye bese sifuna kuva nale history yakhe lo muntu. Yabo. Ugcina ukhanza ukuthola ukuthi umuntu no, vele beyivele khona le problem. But with the lactosoga, then he's now linking the problem to circumcision. So we always face all of those things as we work in the communities, in the different communities, and even in the hospitals. That's the 7 Delacor.
Thank you very much, Mr. Sabelo Mlambo from the Ministry of Health, just giving us that quite beautiful information about circumcision. It is important to circumcise. It is healthy to circumcise. It reduces chances of attracting or rather contracting different sicknesses, be it HIV and other related STDs, sexual transmitted disease. Now, circumcise, Mr. Mlambo, the importance. Call out the Maswati, it is a must. Please, let's do it.
Ngilengakusho nje Maswatini ukuthi lena lelu hlelo lelitelethini kutosita thini litobambisa thini kuletindzaba te-HIV silwa ne-HIV sifuna kuyicedza 2030 so nathi ke sinayo inombolo la ungasithola khona na ufuna kuva abantu ingato indzaba tekusoko sinayo 2030 lomshayela mahala sinayo futhi inombolo ya WhatsApp le 7802 0006 7802 0006 la ungasithola khona esikhona ukukhulumisana at the same time sinalo likhasi lethu ka Facebook Eswatini VMMC program la ungakhona khona ukuthi usibhalele uve ufune kuva kabantu ngekusoka noma usho ukuthi ufuna kusoka nini thina sikhona live lonke oma ngifo ema regions elive dikhona dibhedlela la singakhona ukusoka khona na usitshela nje wona athi kuphi siyakhona ukuxhumanisa nesibhedlela lesithutane nawe ukhona ekusoka kanike nanyalo sikhona la trade fair pavilion 2 la ungakhona khona kusina ungena khona uthole imininingwane lomningi ngato tindzaba tekusoka kuningi lesikubekile etafuleni longakuwina nangabe uvela kithi sitokhucocisana ngatindzaba tekusoka uphindze ulithatha nalo lihlelo lekusoka kana ku pavilion 4 na uyakhona la kunelitiko khona letempilo kukhona la batafike bakufundise khona ngato tindzaba tekusoka nangenjaba yendzaba ye-HIV nje yonkana nato tonke tinhlelo taka health letikhona.
Mr. Mlambo, thank you very much for your time. What a day we've had. I know 3 people will be bringing after this long weekend. But I know 3 people will be bringing to do the circumcision for health reasons. Thank you very much for Mr. Sabelo Mlambo from the Ministry of Health. What a quite information that we've received about circumcision. Like I said, since morning it's been a jam-packed information, the type of interview here at Trade Fair. Of meeting you at the point of your need, we're here, we are live. And it's all about information that you need for your health and your wellness. A short break. When I come back, I'll be with Mbali Smeran Umkuni, San Valerisa. What a day it's been so far after this.
Ubusebiyelele wena mswati wabusa phambi kwetitha wasuyathi ndlula wasuyahlamba wasuyashashabula uyimbubu ngwenyama ngumkhokho yabalekela udle emathole ezinyathi wena waphakathi ethi
umnyaka wa-2023 ngumnyaka lomkhulu eSwatini njengoba live lihalekisela ingwenyama yenkosi Mswati wesithathu iminyaka lengama-55 yatalwa lehlanganiswe negubha iminyaka lengama-55 live latfola amazibuse ugcamisa lo mkhosi lomkhulu welive umsakazo weSwatini TV umemasive ukuthi sibukele tinhlelo elikhombisa imisebenzi yentuthuko yelive leyasukunyiswa yaphinze yasekelwa silo inkosi Mswati wesithathu lesoloyisa imamisa elive nalomuhle inhlelo lingena njalo ngelisonto ngensimbi yesine entsambama halala mbangazitha halala eSwatini.
2023 International Trade Fair.
Eswatini TV brings you a trade fair promotion and a double celebration package. 5-minute live interview on location for only 4,600 emalangeni. A live Kusile breakfast show interview on location for as low as 3,450 emalangeni. 30 seconds complimentary message for only 12,638 emalangeni 50 cents. 30 seconds commercial advert with a minimum of 20 slots, corporate for only 659 emalangeni 15 cents. Small medium enterprise for only 332 emalangeni 72 cents. Promotion ends on the 30th of September 2023.
Mbakele solo sikhona Mbukele solo sikhona emavuso Trade Center kaManzini lapho khona kunayo i-trade fair. Mbukele sichazile phambili ukuthi i-trade fair bekune break let's see bekhona because of COVID-19, but we are so excited to be here today, back again 2023. I'm not doing this alone, I'm doing it with Fab. Fab,
yeah, what a day so far.
Yes, it's been an amazing one.
Yeah, it's been amazing, and I think the feedback from the public, and then I think they have been passing close to the studio, visiting different setups within the pavilion where we are, and then I think this is what we want. We want to meet the public at the point of their needs. This is what they want, information. Yeah. It's been a grateful day, and for the next 10 days it's going to be, and it's all about information. We want people to know what not only us, Eswatini TV, but different stakeholders within this international trade fair that will be closing officially on the 10th of September, which is on Sunday next week.
Yeah, Fab, we spoke about what your expectations are. And are you happy about everything that went on today?
When we were doing interviews earlier on, I think literally the two were just to visit a few stands, and I'm quite happy. I'm impressed. And then I think now see and you're asking yourself, what is Eswatini offering to the public internationally? You get satisfied. Health aspects, economy. We go to the stands where they're talking about archives. You want to know about the culture of Eswatini, especially during this time of the year when we have one of the biggest events culturally, Umhlanga, and you go there, the archives, you get information. Yeah, all those things. Independence, 50-50 celebration. There's
50-55 actually.
50-55 celebration. Yeah. Ooh, what a mistake. 50-55 celebration. You get to the stand of the Minister of ICT, you get such information. So I think, I'm 70% impressed so far, expectation-wise.
Even me as well, because I mentioned to me it was just about entertainment. So I'm excited today. I learned a lot, especially because we're in health and wellness. I learned a lot. I'm going to go for a meditation class from now on. This
is in line with what we do. So but wherever you are, Eswatini TV bringing you the trade fair. You were dressed for the occasion today.
Yes. Yeah. We are not gone, but again, I'm just going to do this for the last time. It's please. Like there's that wave, but it's fine.
The next time when I'm seated with her, I'll be in the same outfit. For you, the viewers, it was Mbadisi Melani in the company of Fabrice Msonera at Eswatini Trade Fair at Mavuso Sports. Thank you very much.
Umsakato wetithombe iEswatini TV utibophelele kuhlonipha nekulandzela umgomo wetekusakata loweluswe libandla letekuchumana eVeni.
Ngephansi kwalo mgomo sitimisele kusakata tindzaba letentiya ngaleso sikhatsi tindzaba letide emagama laqosheme letitsembekile letitsinza tonke tinhlangothi naletisebaleni
kusukela kutepolitiki tetemphilo tekulima tetinkantolo netemhlaba wonke jikelele siniletsela tindzaba njengoba tinjalo ngaleso sikhatsi letenteka ngaso.
Kanzi kulo msakato siphindze sikulethele lonke luhlobo lwetemidlalo kusuka emidlalweni welibhola letinyawo kuye emidlalweni ledlalelwa ematafuleni kanye naleto letiqhamuka ngaphandle kwakuleli.
Leti tindzaba lotiletselwa ngumsakato wetithombe iEswatini TV.
As the Eswatini International Trade Fair draws closer, presenting endless possibilities to all, enjoy such possibilities with us. Eswatini TV is pleased to announce that the broadcast will be themed daily to suit the relevant industry needs, like infrastructure, finance, energy, agribusiness, youth entrepreneurship, health, education, and TICS. International Trade Fair 2023. See you there.
Umsindvo bongosi asinikele liteni lithuba lenja kona lelikwendako